baby. Hey, baby. How y'all doing? Good morning to you. Saturday morning here on WFNZ. No, we're not WFNZ. See, that's Abbott. We're going back. Man, it's amazing how long I was on that station. And now I get up this morning, I just feel it. I mentioned it 2 or 3 times this morning already. Anyway, welcome to another edition of About Your House, another Saturday morning. Good to be here. Good to be alive in this beautiful city. Been great weather this past week. Great weather. And it's going to be a beautiful day today, I think. Pretty sure. At least that's what high 72 today. Currently, right now, it's 58 degrees. Nice spring day. Yeah, enjoy spring. I'm going to plow right in here because we've got a lot of ground to cover today. I this week was introduced, well, maybe last week or whatever, here past. The past week's been a blur to me.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people and done a lot of, just a lot of communicating. Most important thing we do every day is communicate. I got Benjamin Vanhook in studio today, and he's representing WNC Strong.com. That's what I'm going to call it, but it's WNC Strong. And I'm gonna read some of the website. Is that okay?
Yep, that'd be great.
You know, I just want to go ahead and hit it. What is WNC Strong? I'll let Benjamin elaborate after I read this. In the wake of the hurricane Helene, WNC Strong emerges as a grassroots initiative dedicated to uplifting and supporting communities. This movement is about more than just rebuilding home. It embodies the spirit of resilience and unity among people from all walks of life, locally, statewide, and beyond. WNC Strong is a brand owned by the people, not a single company, making everyone a vital part of the team. It serves as a reminder that in times of crisis, our shared humanity takes center stage. Rather than relying solely on government aid or corporate interests, the initiative emphasizes the power of individuals coming together to help one another. It showcases stories of compassion and bravery from everyday heroes who have stepped up to make a difference, and there have been many. So I'm going to stop there and just, I met Benjamin last week.
Yep.
And, but we have a lot of connections because, well, where are you from?
I'm from Franklin, North Carolina, in the mountains.
What county is that?
That's Macon County.
Macon County.
Yep.
Now, what city would be in front? Well, Franklin is the city.
Franklin is the city that's in Macon County, so it's a small town. You also have Highlands, North Carolina.
Okay,
and
that
then
would give me a landmark too.
Yep.
I've been there.
Halo.
I just can't remember when because there's so many small mountain communities.
There's a lot,
and they were all tremendously affected by Helene.
Yes. Luckily, Franklin, my hometown, the eye of the storm went over it. So we didn't get the rainfall that everyone east of us got. And what the luck part of that was, the good part that came out of it was it became a spot that we could work out of. So we could take all the donations that came in. They came in from Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, Texas, Florida, Ohio. But everybody had to sort of come our way because the bridge was shut down on I-40. So,
well, I-40 was devastating.
Yeah, it was done. So we had a spot there that now we still got a lot of stuff. We had several landslides, but we just didn't get the torrential rain that washed the, like Chimney Rock or.
So many areas flooded.
Yeah, there was so many that disappeared.
Yeah, literally.
Like Relief, North Carolina, the whole town literally went away. Chimney Rock, the whole town basically went away.
I was totally devastated. As we talked about the other day, next day.
So
when I saw that picture, I said, "No, wow."
I mean, it was like Relief was completely gone. But there was a lot of towns like that, small towns that got wiped away. But Franklin ended up, we could work out of there. We could take the donations. Overnight, our group kind of popped up and we took over an old Kmart building. It wasn't because they let us. It's because we knew the guy who had the key. And that became a problem in a couple of weeks whenever they found out. But we saw it as a necessity. Took over the Kmart building, started taking supplies in there, had the local football teams, the local basketball teams. Everyone come together. We started stacking supplies, organizing supplies, and then getting them back out.
Right.
And then the owners of the Kmart building, they found out, kicked us out, and then the whole community. I made a post and it went viral. I don't know. It was like 10,000 shares, and they started getting pressure about not letting us in there. And then they came back and I normally wouldn't say anything about this, but it was that they came in and said, "Well, we want to help you now." Okay, that's cool. Well, let us back.
So they kind of reversed their position once they got in there and saw what you were doing.
Yeah, but then they wanted $485,000 lease for the year for us to be able to run supplies out of there.
Okay. So they had an ulterior motive.
Yeah, they had ulterior motive.
It wasn't gratuitous.
No, and like I said, I normally wouldn't say anything, but if they would have just left us alone. But anyway, we ended up having several churches come in. We ended up using their church as the drop-off locations. I think we had 3, and because Franklin didn't get completely crushed, we were able to run a pretty good operation.
Y'all had power, infrastructure?
Yeah, we had power. The only thing that got knocked out, they were cutting a tree off a power line, and they hit the big fiber line that actually supplied all of Western North Carolina.
Bummer.
And that's why so I could only communicate with my parents and my family there via Starlink.
Gotcha.
All cellular, everything was down that way.
Well, Benjamin, I don't really know you.
Right.
I know you've got titles. You're an entrepreneurial kind of guy. You're 42 years old.
Yep.
You're from Franklin, North Carolina. What's your background? I know. Okay, I got that. Logistically, I know where you were. You're a country boy.
I am.
You were raised in rural North Carolina, and which is a gift in itself.
It is.
Because farm country boys know stuff.
I was blessed. Growing up, I was blessed, and I was raised on a farm. I had one grandpa that raised cattle and loved sports, and I had another grandpa that hunted and raised honeybees. So
awesome.
Yeah, I did both sides.
So you were raising honeybees?
Yeah, we did honeybees and cattle and horses, and the honeybees were that's a life lesson that'll stick with you for a long time.
Oh, I know.
It's a job.
I understand, but it's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
It is a beautiful job. It really is.
You talking about being grounded?
Yeah. The worst is whenever you're in that bee suit and it's 100 degrees outside and the bees can still sting you through it. Whenever it's a bad hive, that's probably the worst time to be a honeybee. But the reward's always sweet in it. So
no pun intended.
No pun intended.
I love me some honey. I got into where somebody gave me. I'm throwing this in there. Somebody gave me a box of these little peanut butter cups.
I love peanut butter cups.
Jif peanut butter. Jif peanut butter is good, I got to say, although it's not the most organic you can eat. But anyway, somebody gave me a box of those cups. I opened a cup, and I'll put a teaspoon, full of honey on top of it and mix it up.
It's delicious.
Man, that's my new go-to. Now, I got to toss this out there about honey, too. A lot of people can't sleep.
Right.
They have problems sleeping. Well, I've done a lot of research into, organic and homeo. What am I looking for here? Holistic cures and all that through the years. And I read one time that you take a teaspoonful of honey for bed, you sleep better.
I can see that.
But I'm gonna tell you, it works. It definitely works. I use it frequently now. Nights I think I get up, my brain wakes up, and I just start ruminating. That's
what I do.
I knew you would relate.
Yeah,
I did.
So much so.
But anyway, honey is good for sleep. Just a little tidbit there. Give it a shot. What you got to lose?
Yeah,
it's sweet. It tastes so good.
It does taste good.
It does. Okay.
All right.
You're up in Franklin, North Carolina. You went to school up there.
Yeah, went played some baseball first and ended back up at Western Carolina. My parents were school teachers. My sister's still the speech pathologist for our county. I was a school teacher.
You were a school teacher too?
I was a school teacher. Yeah, I 3.5 years. And
what'd you teach?
High school math.
Awesome.
I coached football and baseball.
High school.
Yeah.
coach. Cool.
Yeah. I grew up wanting to be a coach. That's
in Franklin.
In Franklin. That was my dream. My dad was a coach, and I wanted to be a coach, and I still want to be a coach. It's just it didn't pay well enough.
Well, you can be. You
Yeah.
are coaching, actually.
Yeah, it's a
You're
different kind
like
of
I
coach.
said, in leadership, we're coaches, right?
Yep, that's it.
We try to be anyway. It's hard to coach when you don't have a leader, right?
It's impossible. Either you're going to be the leader or the team lead you. That's the only way to go.
Well, yeah, that's just, and it's hard these days. Anyway, okay, so
I was a teacher, and then started a real estate company while I was teaching, and then started a land development company. And out of the land development, we
in mountain land.
We've actually anywhere in the Southeast besides. I've developed everywhere besides Alabama, Arkansas, and Louisiana.
Whole subdivisions? What?
Yep.
Okay.
The whole subdivisions. We've done everything from RV parks to 20-acre Texas ranches and anything in between.
Did you talk to Mike about Cantaland? Were you involved in any of that?
So that was my other business partners are in Cantaland. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now I'm seeing some connections
now you see it. So Mike always he comes and does the sales for us.
Okay. Yeah. I got it. I know exactly the connection.
Yep. Yeah. So Mike comes for that.
He's in the real estate side of it.
Yep.
Sales.
Yep. He's in the sales side of it.
Been there a while.
Yeah, he's been there since 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Maybe longer than that. I've been in it now 14 years in development, 20 years in real estate.
Got it. So you got into building as well. You became a GC?
Yep, I'm a GC as well.
You're a general contractor.
Yep.
Into land development predominantly. Spec homes or?
No, we actually just push the dirt. So
your site work.
So we build houses. I built houses for 6 years, and then once we started really pushing dirt, I just went straight in.
Infrastructure.
Yeah, infrastructure. We buy the land, put in the roads, put in the utilities, survey.
Gotcha.
And then we actually sell it in-house too. So we do everything from purchasing the land to selling it to the end user. The only thing we don't do right now is build the house.
Gotcha.
Once we sell it.
Strictly land development, basically.
Yep.
For residential subdivision.
That's it.
I hear you. Okay. Okay. Helene came along.
Yep. So then Helene comes.
Somebody knock on your door and said, "Can you help us?"
I don't think anybody knocked. We just sort of jumped.
Well, that was a little.
Yeah, we ended up going out and taking our land development crews, and they basically become emergency management or emergency response crews. I would say
Where were you based? In Franklin?
In Franklin and Mooresville. So I live in Mooresville now. My family. And
where at? Can I ask? What area?
We live out towards Sherrills Ford in Mooresville on 150, out towards the steam plant.
I know. Okay.
Yeah, we're out there. So it was kind of an amazing thing that it's kind of cut off in the middle around Asheville where it really got bad. So we were able to run relief out of Franklin to Asheville West, and then out of Mooresville we were running from Asheville East. There was a bunch of us that. Hope Mills is who I helped on this side, and we were helicopters and airplanes, and then sending supplies in. And then on the other side, we were sending basically all ground, sending supplies in.
Well, right now you got your WNCstrong.com, and there's another nonprofit attached to you.
Yeah.
And what's the name of that one?
So it's the Mountain Alliance Admission, and you can get on it, themountainalliance.com. So that's a nonprofit that we started, and its purpose originally was just to get supplies in, take the donations to buy supplies, and then we went heavy on getting heat to the worst counties, to the highest elevation counties. So Avery County was the main one. It took north of $30,000 a week that all the nonprofits were trying to raise to keep that county heated, just because you're heating tents and campers. That was the hard part. And we fought through that through the winter, keeping people heated, and then we went into housing now.
Gotcha. Talking to Benjamin Vanhook with WNC Strong, and we're going to discuss the the catastrophe of Helene and the aftermath that we're still into, and the support needed.
Yep.
Because it's going away, and other people that are involved, is some people that I know.
Yep.
And just want to give kudos to everybody in the hard work, tremendous
It's a lot
effort,
of hard work.
tremendous effort that's going into this, relief effort.
Yep.
So come back. You're listening to About Your House right here on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app, stream it live on your browser, foxsportsradiocharlotte.com, YouTube Live, Facebook Live on About Your House Radio. Come back. Got Benjamin Vanhook, WNC Strong. We'll be back.
More about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Mike Libretto here, inviting you to come in and experience Charlotte's best New York pizza and great Italian food at Libretto's Pizzeria. Serving Charlotte proudly since 2008, Libretto's pizzas are sure to please by the slice or grab a whole pie. Pastas, entrees, great appetizers, sandwiches, and wings. A menu to please the whole family. Dine in or takeout, available 7 days a week. Visit us online at librettospizzeria.com or call us at 704-714-1442. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Go outside and take a look at your home. Are the gutters doing their job? The number one enemy to your home is water. Most homes are built with small, inadequate gutters and small downspouts. ABS Insulating has a division of the company that does nothing but gutter services. All gutter services: cleaning, maintaining, repair, new downspouts, replacement, and new gutters with many types available. They're a leader when it comes to gutter protection. Call ABS Insulating today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Carolina Foundation Solutions is a family-owned and operated company and a licensed general contractor in North and South Carolina, providing foundation solutions from the mountains to the sandy shores of the coast. At Carolina Foundation Solutions, our objective is to help educate, offer guidance, and provide assistance. With over 200 years of combined experience, our family of experts are ready to help protect and repair your largest investments. If you have a problem, we have a solution. Call 877-883-4626 or online, carolinafoundationsolutions.com.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595, or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Benjamin Vanhook in studio today talking WNC Strong. And I want to bring up Jeremy Barker. Jeremy's been on the show. I don't know if you know Jeremy or not.
I don't know
He
Jeremy.
was another volunteer that went up there. He did custom tile and Bathmatics, the name of his company, but he got involved with the relief effort, and he just a one-armed tile guy. I mean,
That's wild.
a one-handed tile
You're telling
guy.
about that.
You know, him and his wife, great people. Jeremy's done incredible work up in the hills, certain areas. I can't remember what areas because it's so vast, the need up there. Danny Kelly headed up a tiny house construction effort here in Charlotte with the home builders and did a lot of tiny houses.
Right.
And there's, I mean, you know, and I want you to kind of elaborate because I've been wanting to do a little show about this, and we met, and I'm grateful. And I hope you'll come back. Too.
Oh, yeah, I definitely will. 100%.
Come back, and we'll talk more. But the tiny house initiative,
yes,
has been tremendous.
It has.
And they're coming from Pennsylvania, the Amish.
The Amish were crucial. And without the Amish, we wouldn't have had near the outcome of what we had. The Amish, whenever you look at what they were able to accomplish in a short period of time, what would take us weeks, they were doing in hours.
Right.
It was wild. It was great to watch. Like, and they're still doing it. It's not like they stopped. They got out of the spotlight because at first they were building these homes, and some of these communities, some of these leaders, we call leaders, I didn't call them leaders, they were saying that people couldn't live in them, that they didn't meet code. And the whole thing was,
see, these rules are out of hand.
Out of hand. I mean,
these rules we have in our culture today are totally out of control.
Government
and the
overreach.
Idiots, the overeducated idiots that, oh, here he goes. The overeducated idiots that run the show. My God, we got people freezing to death, and you're going to tell them they can't live there because.
Well, here's the thing. So they're living in a tent, right? And it's the winter. So first, get them in something we can heat. You can't heat a tent.
Of course you can't.
But what really, being a school teacher and worrying about kids, so you're going to tell me that, it was basically like communities had to live amongst each other, and they're living in tents, but now you've got kids thrown in with God, who knows? And then they don't have a door they can even lock to protect their kids. So they're living in a tent. Give them a 4 walls and a door that they can lock,
some protection
to protect the kids from whatever else is going on.
Shelter.
Yes, from what else is going on out here. And they would literally said they couldn't live in these. And I do get, okay, we don't want them living in something that's
you
not
don't want to live in
code
something that they're going to have
forever.
a kerosene heater in, and the fumes are going to kill them. Okay,
Right.
We common sense people. But God gave us a brain and intelligence. What happened to the days of independent, critical thinkers? Where in the heck has it gone?
It's gone.
And now you know what Put Tools in Schools is all about. To raise awareness of independent, creative thinkers.
Yep.
I'm sorry, they're just gone away. Haven't
Completely gone away. You got to think for them. Now everybody's got ChatGPT, and that's where we go to.
Hold on, let me think here a minute. I got to tune it in.
That's what they do. And it's like we were talking about, ChatGPT is now taking positive words and eliminating them from the English language. It's slowly going away. It's
called control.
Yep.
And they've taken it away vehementally, dumbed you down to where you've got to ask questions, and you don't really have to. It's a psyop, and it's working.
It is.
Would you agree or disagree with me, Benjamin? I'm sorry.
I'm 100% agree with you. And the sad part is they made movies about a lot of this in the, all the way from the 60s, they talked about it. Some of the books that were written, then they started making movies about it, and we're all like, oh, hell, that could never happen. And now we're sitting here and it's like, holy cow, it's happening around us. And we're all just sitting here watching it happen. We're like,
and not saying a word.
Well, I guess we know what the end's going to be. We might as well just sit back and watch it. And that's what we're doing. We're sitting back and watching it. Everybody is. We're all guilty of it.
It's crazy. Yeah.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
But that's the whole premise. When this happened, I said, and thought, because I might be old, but I ain't dead.
Right.
And I got a lot left in me, and I can go out and build sheds or whatever. But I said, my value is here, teaching and raising the awareness of the opportunities of learning the trades, learning how to use your mind and hands to be constructive, creative, purpose-filled, service-oriented.
Right.
Because we've lost it.
Completely lost it. There's
I mean, you're working in the hills. What have you seen?
It's the good part about being in the hills and working in the hills is the Appalachia spirit is still there.
Well, I don't think the spirit of man and what we're capable of will ever die because God put it in us.
It's just stronger in certain regions.
Exactly.
And that region is one that it is strong in. You can, like Star Wars, the Force, you could feel the Force when you're there because these people didn't just lay down and die for the most part. This could have been worse. It really could have, because FEMA came in and tried to take over, and their takeover would not have been.
How'd that work out?
It didn't work out well for anybody involved. It didn't work out well for FEMA. We talk about it, and the best example we have is in Spruce Pine. It took them 2 weeks to set up this camp, and they brought all these homes in. Well, nobody ever lived in those homes. They sat there, and me and Ann, who you met.
And Bogus.
Yep, and Bogus. We were riding around, and we're like, we need to go, because it was such a disconnect between FEMA and everyone else, all the people. We thought, man, we should go to this camp, and we should ask them what they're doing, and then be able to help promote them and say, hey, FEMA is doing something.
Sure.
All right. So we go.
Be a PR force here. Let's spread to humanity the good stuff.
That's what we were going to try to do.
Right.
And it was the day after the election. So we go and look up on the hill, because they were up on this hill that the fire department owned, and they had, 100 homes up there, 50 homes, something. Nobody actually ever knew, because nobody was ever allowed in. And we go and look, you're driving down this road in Spruce Pine. Everybody know where it's at, Western Sizzling, if you've been there. And you look up on this hill, and they're gone. And they were there 2 days ago. So 2 weeks it took them to bring all these in. And we go, and they're like, we go to the church who was running relief right beside it. We're like, where did the camp go? We're like, I don't know. Trump won, and they left in the middle of the night. Completely left. And that was the end of them. We never heard about it from them again. So that they never actually got anything accomplished. And that's the best example I've got of what happened with FEMA up there.
Well, the fact of the matter is, there's people still in need.
Tons of people
you still need support.
Mm-hmm.
You need financial support. And they're selling. What's this frying pan about?
So this frying pan is made by Lodge.
Good stuff, cast iron.
Yep, cast iron. It's got a design on the back of it. It's a limited edition. We did 1,000 frying pans. The good part is Lodge is donating one frying pan for every one we sell. So if we sell one, they donate one to a survivor of Hurricane Helene. All the funds, all the profit from it goes to help the survivors of Hurricane Helene. And we've sold about half right now. So we've got another 500 to sell. You can go on WNCstrong.com and get it. We're going to be, so today we have a fundraiser going on at Open Tap in Pineville. If you want to come by, they're donating 10% of all proceeds go. We're going to have bounce houses out there for the kids from 12 to 4. We've got live music from 2 to 5. Then we have live music again from 6 to 9. And then we'll have open mic night after that. Singers come out. But everything you buy there today will give us a donation back.
And that's at Open Tap.
Open Tap in Pineville. It's 510 Carmel Road in Pineville, North Carolina.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Open Tap today from 12 to what? 12
to whenever it closes, 11, 12.
So from
whatever.
12 o'clock noon today on till closing time at Open Tap. A certain percentage of the proceeds go to WNC Strong.
Yep, we'll be taking donations. So we've got bouncy houses, slides, mazes, face painting, popsicles for the kids. We'll be taking donations basically to, play on those. It's not required, but it'd be a good thing if you do. We'll have our merchandise for sale. We'll have popsicles for sale, well, for donation. We'll have some cast irons out there, so they'll be for sale as well. And then percentage, so you can actually come and enjoy a brew, and part of that money goes back to Western North Carolina. So it's a
Gotcha.
way to help out.
Gotcha. I hear you. That's it. The open tap from noon today until closing today. Go out and have some fun. I may join in myself. Who knows?
I love it.
Who knows? But back to the deed at hand here, as far as the rebuild. How is it going now? Is support still lingering, isn't it? I mean,
everything's lingering. So here's what Western WNC Strong is about. Whenever this first happened, there was a ton of money that got donated, and it continued to get donated for months. But me looking at it, I knew that these donations couldn't keep coming in forever. And it's not the fact people don't want to donate. After a while, you can only donate so much. You got to go back to work.
Well, yeah, it's going to dry up eventually.
It dries up, and it's definitely dried up. So WNC Strong is actually a for-profit, but we're trying to create revenue streams that people are doing anyway, where we can actually take that revenue and then put it back into Western North Carolina. So the best example is we are set up with a credit card processor. If you change over to our credit card processor, one, you get American Service Center on the back end. But instead of the money going to the corporations on every time you swipe, the money goes to Western North Carolina. So that's our best example of one of the revenue streams we're creating. And it's free POS system. It's easy to switch over. It's basically taking anything you have now and just switching it over, and that revenue goes. So we're trying to create revenue streams where people won't have to donate forever. So then the Mountain Alliance of Mission, that's the nonprofit that you can donate to. So we have a for-profit, WNC Strong, but that for-profit supports all the nonprofits.
Right. I know what you're doing. I hear you. Because you can't, unfortunately, everything now, it takes a village.
It does. Big village.
Yep. Everything.
Everything.
Just the infrastructure behind anything serving now is vast.
Yep.
With the internet being what it is, social media, marketing strategies, all of that. And I'm involved with that around Put Tools in Schools.
Right.
But the effort around Put Tools in Schools is to create opportunities for our youth that they otherwise don't know of.
Right.
That you grew up being aware of in Franklin, North Carolina.
Yeah, that was a great thing about growing up in the mountains is I think we talked about it whenever I was 10, I was driving a tractor on the 4-lane.
Right.
You do that now, it wouldn't be Put Tools in Schools, it'd be put the dad in jail or the grandpa in jail. But we grew up from a very young age doing.
You're self-sufficient.
And
you fix things.
Whatever you need to do. Like I honestly, now they would probably put somebody in jail, but my grandpa used to set me out on a fence line when I was 10 years old with a needle nose pliers, some fencing, a couple insulators.
And a fence tool.
Yeah, and tell me to go walk the fence and fix what had to be fixed on the fence. Could you imagine a 10-year-old right now being set out?
No, I can't.
On a fence
Matter
line?
of fact, I've got a fence tool.
Right.
That pliers looking thing. I've got one.
Yeah.
And I throw it out on the table with Trades Career Days. And a few kids have said, "What's this for?" I said, "That's a fence tool."
Yep.
And I show them how it works and all.
Yep.
They have no clue.
None
Whatsoever.
None.
And but that's what we're dealing with here. It's crazy.
It's crazy that they don't. Literally, the only thing that kids know how to do is turn on and that's not every kid. I get it, but
there's some kids out there in rural, and I'll tell you
Yep.
There's a vast difference between rural high schools and city high schools.
Yep.
The city high schools, these kids are totally almost, and I can't say all, but 90% of the kids are not aware of tools.
No.
That they cannot read a tape measure. They don't know what the tools are. How do I know this? I've asked them now for going on 6 years, face to face, eye to eye, table tool to tape to your face.
Right.
What is this? Can you read a tape measure? Sure. Can you? Show me. They can't.
Not a clue.
They can't. And it's not their fault. It's really not the children's fault. And I'm not picking on them. I'm just making
Well, here's the thing: a kid, growing up as a school teacher, and what my dad was a school teacher. We actually taught a door down from each other, so it was kind of
your dad from you?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow. What'd your dad teach?
Math.
He taught math too?
He taught remedial math, and I taught upper level math.
Okay, cool.
But his whole philosophy, and if you went in his rooms, the kids were very well behaved compared to everyone else. Like his kids didn't talk. They were there to do work. But he was a disciplinarian.
Tough love kind of guy.
Yeah, he was. But his philosophy was a kid will do exactly what you expect them to do. If you expect them to be successful, or you're willing to go show them what about a tool, they're going to do it if you expect them to do that. The problem is we've set the expectation bar so low and decided we're not going to teach them anything. It's not the kids' fault, because the kids will do what you expect them and what you get them to do.
I know.
And we don't get them to do anything.
Most of the time they like it.
They love it.
Because
they love
if
being
you
interactive.
show them attention and you interact and embrace them and engage them, they're in it, man.
That's the level of humanity.
They don't know the concept because we're not using that concept.
The overall vast majority of the population loves it to be interacted with.
Yeah.
We've just got to a point that we don't interact with anybody but our phones.
That's it. We've lost touch with each other.
Yeah. And kids love it. You spend, I've got 3 kids, 2 step boys and my daughter. I spend 5 minutes with them. Their attitude completely changes if you're truly interacting, and
if you're engaged.
If you're engaged,
you talk to them and not down to them.
Yes, they get engaged.
Even 3-year-olds, 4 years old,
they love it.
It's just easy.
Yep. And then the bad part is this generation that's coming through, nobody interacted with them, so they don't know how to interact.
Right.
They know how to interact with the phone. They know how to sit there and scroll, and now they're very smart on the technical side of it, technology, and they could do about anything with
a
any
phone
of the
or
AIs.
device.
But if they had to go over here and build something like you're talking about, I don't know.
I'll give you a great example. We got I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna find his name here, but we got a kid, and I'm gonna bring him up. His name is Silas. I'll find it exactly, but here's a 17-year-old boy. I met him at one of the trades day, and Silas Morgan, he's 17, lives over in the South Park area, and he goes to Northwest School of the Arts, and he goes to Tech. Has a class called Tech. Well, what it is they build sets for the theater they've got over there. They build theater sets, which is carpentry 101.
Yep.
Right?
That's what we
had.
And
he came up, he got so excited when he saw all these tools. Now, here we've got Silas Morgan, 17, that wants to build stuff. Silas, what do you want to do? I want to build stuff. What stuff? I don't care. I just want to build stuff.
Right.
Now, what a attitude to have. He's reached out to me 3 times. He's 17, but he doesn't have a driver's license yet. Silas Morgan, that kind of attitude, and it all came from tools. Once he got engaged in the tech class, he loves it.
Right.
Now, how can we find Silas a job this summer? If you've got a company and you want a young, industrious mind, now let me tell you what's wrong with that. He's 17. You got to be 18. Oh, another rule.
Yeah. Oh, every rule.
You can't work here. You're not 18. The rule. I mean, it's crazy. Well, Ray, what if? What if? We're so what if to death. And there's your psyop.
Yep. What if?
What if? And well, maybe. What kind of attitude are ifs and maybes?
What would have happened if the people who came over here originally was what if?
Yeah, man. So, but anyway, but I don't care about the rules. We've got to still this 17-year-old exists and wants to build stuff.
Yep.
What an attitude. We need to find a place for Silas to go to work this summer and build stuff.
Yep.
It's that simple. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with you.
And you worry about the kids not wanting to work. Well, here's one.
Yep.
Where are we going to put him? Well, he's not 18. Golly. Coddle, coddle, coddle. If the parents don't coddle them, the system does.
The system coddles worse. Well, I don't know.
That's hard to say.
It's hard to say. That's a flip of the coin, I do believe.
Yeah. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but not really, because it's a fact, right?
Yep, it's a fact.
But anyway, Silas Morgan, 17, and I had to bring him up this morning because he's a good kid, wants to build stuff.
That's great.
I love it.
That's great.
Now, I talked to some kids the other week, little bitty girl, she's seniored out at Queens Grant. I said, what you figured it out? Yeah. She said, oh, yeah, I'm going to be a welder. I'm already welding.
Oh,
She
that's
says, I already
awesome.
got a job that I'm welding at. I
Really?
said, yeah. Says, kick butt, girl. Go get them. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll come back and wrap our little conversation up with Mr. Benjamin Vanhook. WNCstrong.com. Go online, check them out. It isn't over yet, folks. A lot of work to do.
Tons of work.
Western North Carolina and beyond. Kentucky, Tennessee,
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Any more out there? A lot of stuff. Maybe parts of northern South Carolina. Who knows?
Yep, there are.
You know, it's vast. Anyway, come back. About your house. We're here.
Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you. Offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
John DeLand here for Crowntown Cannabis. We at Crowntown Cannabis care about you and your health. All of our products, from edibles to topical creams, are all third-party tested for purity and quality. 4 locations, open 7 days a week to help you with any concerns you may have. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can call us at 704-412-7121 or online at crowntowncannabis.com.
The professionals at Kilo Exterminating Company have over 70 years of experience in pest control. Throughout the years, they always pride themselves on maintaining the highest standard of quality and customer service, with every technician being state certified. And moisture readings are standard with every inspection. Their top priority is ensuring your home is free from pests such as ants, mosquitoes, termites, and any other pests wreaking havoc on your home. That's Kilo Exterminating at 704-333-9855 or online, kilo.biz. That's 704-333-9855.
Hi, I'm Sam Attero of AteroMedia.com, and I love empowering my clients and partners to make the most out of today's latest digital media tools. We specialize in building production systems and podcast studios for small to mid-sized churches and local businesses here in Charlotte. Do you need new media production gear? Do you need help learning how to use it? You're in great hands with our family business, Attero Media of Charlotte. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. About your house on Fox Sports Charlotte, talking to Benjamin Vanhook today, this morning, first hour. Plumbing coming up. I got Chase and Bruce Ervin in studio, ready to talk hot and cold water and other stuff. Being in construction and all the efforts you see, there's no words. I mean, I've asked people to describe what went down up there.
It's impossible to describe it because until you go there and actually stand. So there's a place called B-Log. Some people call it Egypt. They call it Egypt because it's out there and it's in Burnsville area. And literally the first time I went up there, you go and there was a creek that's 25 feet wide. And people always stop, fished it every day, all the neighbors, and real tight community because it's way out in this. I mean, it's out there, hard to get to. You got to go up a mountain, over a mountain. Any way you go, you got to go over a mountain to get there. And you go in this 25. This creek was 25 feet wide. It had highway on one side. I say a highway, 2-lane, and it had a small community road on the other side. And now this 25-foot creek is 300 yards wide, 40 feet deep, and the water was still 30 feet up in the air. So you're talking about a 70-foot surge, and both roads are gone, and it looks like something out of the apocalypse, and it feels like death. I mean, that's what it feels like.
It is death.
Yeah, and
massive death.
You go stand in the middle of it, and even though you know it happened and you can see it happen, you're like, this is impossible. There's no way. Everything's down to the only thing that stopped it from 300 yards to going 400 yards is it finally hit bedrock. So anything that wasn't bedrock, it took it, and it looks like this table, the rock does. It looks like you took a pressure washer and just pressure washed all that rock. You're talking about multiple concrete bridges gone. They just don't exist anymore. And these are state built. This isn't mom and pops.
Well, the one thing I've always said is you cannot mess with Mother Nature.
No.
When Mother Nature decides to move,
she's going to do it.
She's going to move, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I mean, if you've heard about the Swannanoa area, and they took it maybe the worst, but the reason why they took it, they got lucky because it formed an eddy instead of just washing down. But they had a reservoir. The water reservoir was built in the 40s, and it was designed when the water started breaching the top of the dam, these 3 plugs would pop out. What's never happened? That reservoir has never been breached. So this time it breached it, and it did what it's supposed to do. The 3 plugs popped out. It dropped that reservoir something like 26 feet in 8 seconds. And that's what made that wall of water hit. Well, it first hit Swannanoa, then it hit Asheville, then it went on into Marshall, and then it went into eastern Tennessee and did all the damage in eastern Tennessee. So that made sense because you had that reservoir drop that water so quick.
Right.
But where you're talking about in B-Log and you're talking about 70-foot storm surge, that was all in a valley. And that's just water being poured out on top of these ridge lines. Now, the mudslides helped add to the velocity and add to the displacement, but it just seems impossible.
And I've got to say this because it's not talked about enough. The massive death and destruction.
Lots, and they'll never know how many. It's impossible because they're not there.
But the media's count was very, very,
low.
Very, very low.
Yeah, it was so much more. And I get they're saying, well, it has to be confirmed. Well, what does it have to be confirmed? Well, it either has to be found or it's got to be 3 years. And that's the bad part is you got all these families that these people died and they need the life insurance to be able to close out the estate. And if they don't find them, they have to wait 3 years to be confirmed. So they're sitting there, they're probably going to lose their farms. They're probably going to lose their, what they have left because they lost all their money. And that these life insurance or insurance agencies are, if the people had the money only in their name, they can't get access to that for 3 years because that's the rule.
The rules.
You know how those rules work.
Oh, yeah.
So
it ain't in favor of us, that's for sure.
No, it's not in favor of those families for sure. So they're going to sit there and not be able to keep what was left of their farms or left of their estates or, 2 acres and a house. They're going to be able to keep that because the person who was in charge is no longer there.
I don't know you, but I'm going to ask a question.
All right.
Blow everybody away here. You think it's controlled weather?
Yes, I do. That's a pretty easy answer for me. Yeah, if you watch that, if you watch the hurricane go up that line, and it probably saved uh, Franklin, my hometown. But whenever it got right around Tampa, you can watch it it jumped to the right. And that made it to where the eye went over Franklin instead of going over Eastern Tennessee. But I mean, they've been cloud seeding forever. I mean,
Oh, that's no question about it.
Dubai flooded themselves with it. They cloud seeded so much they've never had that much. They had a year's worth of rain in 24 hours and flooded Dubai. So they do it. I mean, they admitted that that's what happened.
Exactly.
So it's not a conspiracy theory anymore because
No, it's reality.
It's reality that they cloud seed.
The next day when it happened, I said, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah, it was the amount of water that came down whenever you go up there and you see it, you're like, this is impossible. There's no way this could possibly ever happen. But it did. I've been in it. I've seen it.
It happened. Yep. Well, Ben, what do you need?
We need donations. Still can use volunteers. Can't donate your time or money if you got materials. For building, we're taking materials. There's several organizations that are stockpiling them.
And you're building tiny homes now, right? Or
we
sheds
are,
or whatever. I mean,
so
what's your
there's several
main
groups building tiny homes. We are focusing on getting manufactured housing. So your double wides or single wides and replacing ones that were washed away. So, right now we're doing the stipulation that you have to own the property. You had to own the property and have owned the house that washed away. Because that's where we're starting first. We had to have guidelines and rules. We did.
Well, you got to have parameters.
Let's call it parameters. We had to have a parameter because we had to be able to. We didn't want to take new housing and give it to a landlord that's going to charge somebody to live in it. So we wanted to give it to the end user. We've got 6 so far. We've got two of them completely committed. We got 4 more that we're working vetting on the people. The vetting process, when something bad happens, bad people show up to take advantage of it
every time.
Yeah, and that's been the hardest part for us is vetting
the
people.
vultures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got a couple of vultures. Whenever we were working on giving out campers, we would think 2 separate occasions we gave it out and had vetted them and it seemed legit. And I think they probably were legit, but they took the damn campers and sold them. And
well, one thing though, and I know it's not right, but people go into survival mode.
Yeah, that's true.
They go into survival mode, and then I understand that.
Yep.
Sink or swim. Okay.
Yep.
And with a catastrophe such as people are, just needy. I mean, they're surviving.
I agree with that.
And I'm not defending it by any means, but that's what
I think the worst ones when you go on Facebook Marketplace and you see some tiny homes for sale up there that were built for a victim.
Yeah.
Survivor. We call them survivors. We call the people survivors just not to give the connotation of victim. But then there's these tiny homes that were built for that survivor, and then they're for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
Ann Bogus, which I met, and thank you, Vicki, for introducing us. Vicki Samuels here at Beasley. She substantiates nonprofits.
Yes.
For you, because there's some nonprofits out there that are not totally up and up.
Yeah, that's the hard part is finding, because there's so many popped up during this.
Oh, it's never been worse.
No, and
never been worse.
Then it's what was their motives, and that's the hard part was finding. Now the good part of it's after nothing good about it, but there was a good thing that came out of whenever the storms then hit Eastern Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. Some of the nonprofits that popped up for WNC were able to immediately go up there, really make a difference and an impact for those people because we had just done it here.
Gotcha.
So we were able to go straight up there and do it. So as a group, we have found a group of nonprofits that's very cohesive and work very well together.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you coming in today.
We're out of
time.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Benjamin Vanhook with WNC Strong, headed to the Open Tap in Pineville. Go join him at noon. From noon till closing today, certain percentage of the proceeds go to WNC Strong. Go out there and buy a frying pan, a Lodge cast iron frying pan, WNC Strong across the bottom. Support. You're
Thanks,
listening to
guys.
About Your House. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Yeah, hold on. Sit still. We're going to break here. You don't have to get up and run, and I'll walk you out. But come back next hour. We're going to talk plumbing with Precision Plumbing Duo here. But in plumbing, I don't know to what degree, because we've got first generation and second generation plumber here, and I'm excited about the possibilities working with Chase at Precision Plumbing with in and around put tools in schools, and we're going to develop some sort of partnership with WNC Strong around put tools in schools as well, because collaboration over competition. We need industry to step up, be a part of these initiatives as well.
100%.
Have you gotten any support from industry up in the hills?
We've gotten some. We've been able to get materials for housing.
Awesome.
Yep, that's where
I know Lowe's gave a lot.
They gave a lot. A lot of lumber came from local sawmills too.
Awesome.
So the local industry stepped up, even though they were devastated. They still stepped up and gave a lot.
I didn't say this, but I thank you for all you've done.
I appreciate
and
that.
all you do.
Yep, appreciate
you. Really, a great deal. It takes a village, folks. Now we're going to take a break here, top of the hour break, come back with Precision Plumbing in the house. We'll be back. He'll give you that mic. This mic here will be on Chase. Okay. And that mic there. And the headsets are because anything you hear on the headsets, what you hear over the
You awake yet? Grab another cup of coffee and join us for hour 2. Bruce and Chase Ervin with Precision Plumbing join us talking plumbing and their story, how they got here. So stick around. About Your House is brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. Also brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store, formerly known as Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliance. Same great store, different name. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 2. I want to pass out a little thank you here. One, we got a great call this week from S&N Construction. They're utilities and infrastructure. They run fiber optic cables and infrastructure for communication, and they work in conjunction with Duke Energy and various other infrastructure companies. But S&N has made a nice donation to Put Tools in Schools. And I'm so grateful for it. And they're going to continue to support and help us. A great example of industry stepping up to help a worthy cause. And I also want to thank the whole staff at Mint Hill Barbershop and our good friend Sam Otero with Otero Media. And I want to give a big thank you to Sam. Sam has become a tremendous part of the public media effort and public awareness effort around Put Tools in Schools. We've gone out twice this week doing videos around trade awareness to put on social media and get the word out there to these kids, because most of the kids really aren't aware of the possibilities or the the career pathways that are available to them. They're totally out of touch with it. But Sam has done a great job supporting Put Tools in Schools with his vast digital media. He's a nerd when it comes to that stuff, and he knows his craft, okay? But we also want to teach that craft, digital media, to students as well. So it's twofold. As he helps and we develop digital media around Put Tools in Schools, we also want to teach. And in lieu of that, we've got a new podcast studio at what we call the Toolbox. Well, we've invested, and you wonder why we need money. Well, it cost us a nice penny to set up the podcast studio because we're going to do it right the first time. And as we bring kids in there to summer camp this summer, we're going to teach them some digital media information as well. Not only cooking, carpentry, plumbing, electrical, welding. We're going to just use the toolbox to, tease or tickle students' interest in particular trades. We're not going to have a curriculum around it, although we are going to promote and advance OSHA 10 because OSHA 10 covers the basic safety requirements around the trades. So that's the toolbox. More money and support is going to be needed around that. But Sam Atero Media has set up the podcast studio over there and done a great job. Now it's still in developmental stages. It's functional, but yet we've got to do a little decorating, a little spruce up, make it look pretty on camera, that sort of thing. But I really thank Sam. And this week we went out to Mint Hill Barbershop yesterday. Mint Hill Barbershop, there at the corner of Lawyers Road and 51. We went in there and I sat down and got a haircut because I was way past due. And as I did, we did video work around the career pathway of being a barber. There's another dying trade, barbers, and now he's got 4 female barbers in there, 4 that went to cosmetology school, learned the trade of cutting hair and decided, well, they're going to be barbers. So there's another career pathway. And yesterday, we also want to thank Owens Chimney Systems. They invited us down to shoot some video around the trades, sheet metal working and chimney sweep professions, and a lot of kids may be interested in that. So, but there again, I couldn't have done it without Sam Atero Media. And if you're looking for video, digital media, podcast studio, podcast information, Sam's a good resource for you at Atero Media. And there you go. And the Neri Golf Tournament was last week at the old Sycamore Golf Club. And on that note, Put Tools in Schools first fundraising golf tournament's going to be held at Old Sycamore, I do believe Thursday, October 9th. Put that on your calendar. We're going to be reaching out for support. It's going to be the big fundraiser we need to get us off and going in the direction we want to go in and support our kids through the initiative around Put Tools in Schools. I think I said it all. All right. Now I got Bruce and I got Chase Ervin in studio this morning.
Good morning.
And thank y'all for coming in. And they're the first and second generation plumbers. And they work with precision. They've been involved with, well, I think you two have been involved probably more than any other, although now we have, was it Nate and Lewis?
Yes.
Did I do good on that?
Yes, sir.
Nate and Lewis? All right. And Chase got promoted to a foreman, so he can't play as much anymore. Isn't that right?
Yeah, not as much. Not as
Now
much.
talk about 4 or 5 inches because your voice isn't
Gotcha.
that strong. Okay, I'm sorry. But
It's all good. I'll get there.
You'll get there.
Yes.
God gave you a voice, use it. That's what I tell people in the trade. Speak up.
That's right.
Because probably the most important thing, not probably, the most important thing you do every day in the trades is communicate. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
You got to talk, But both these gentlemen have worked around the trades career days around Put Tools in Schools. Chase was, gee whiz, you've started in working with the kids and sweating. What have you got from that? I mean, talk to people and tell them, how old are you?
I'm 24.
You're 24. How long you worked at Precision?
About 4 years.
4 years. 24 years old, started there when you were 20. What got you into plumbing?
My daddy.
Now, but you got out. Did he make you come to plumbing? You will go to be a plumber. You will like it.
No, I think I was working at a pizza place before I came back, and I just needed I just wanted a career, something where I can learn a skill.
So you bounced around out of high school.
He did an internship.
Yeah, I did a little part-time jobs after high school, and then I did a little internship with Precision Plumbing at their shop, just doing some prefab at their
prefab shop.
Yeah, their prefab shop.
See, Precision Plumbing. Let me make it clear going into this conversation this morning. Precision Plumbing does not want you to call them to fix your commode or your sink.
Thank you.
Because they won't, because they're a commercial industrial plumbing company. However, to get to that level, you must go through other levels of plumbing. Now, Chase, you started in commercial.
Yeah, I started in the commercial side.
He started in the commercial, so he hasn't done a lot of service work.
No.
And now when I say that, it also exemplifies the career pathways within the plumbing industry. They're not all, you got to go out and deal with the crap. You get it? I mean, let's talk plumbing, right?
No, you're right.
But everybody, most of the time when you say plumbing, matter of fact, I ask the kids, when I say plumbing, what do you think of? And you know what they say?
Probably the guy running around with the plunger.
Plunger. It comes into the conversation every time. And plunger. You talking plunger? Oh, no, I'm talking plumbing. But most people think immediately about the dirty part of plumbing. Chase, you hadn't seen much dirty part of plumbing, have you?
No, we don't really have to deal with the backups and camera and outlines unless it's for like new work. The most dirty we get is whenever we're tying into some new existing
the
lines or
tie-in.
something. Yeah, tie-in.
And if that's the dirtiest you got it, man, you got it made.
Oh yeah,
because that ain't dirty.
Yes,
that really isn't. It's just used.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just used. You tell them to turn it
now,
off.
I can tell you about dirty if you want to hear some stories about plumbing. How about you, Bruce? You know a dirty story too?
I got a lot of dirty stories on plumbing.
Really? Like when you open a crawl space door and you go about 5 feet and you smell something. It don't smell good. And then you look in the middle of the crawl space and there's this lake. There's this lake full of sewage, literally.
Yeah.
And they didn't even know it. Now, remember me telling you folks out there, you need to have your crawl space inspected about once every year or two. This is a reason in itself, because cast iron will literally deteriorate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
It rusts and go away.
Yep. You can, to the point you can put your finger through it.
Yes, sir. And I went under a crawl space one day where just that happened, where the cast iron had just literally deteriorated and sewage was just running right under the house. And I told the lady, I said, you need to call a plumber before I come back. And she said, why? I said, because you got a lake under your house. And it ain't a pretty one either. It's got a little smell to it. She said, oh, that's nasty. I said, you ought to go look at it. But in commercial plumbing, you don't do it that. You're mostly involved with new construction, new commercial buildings, right?
Yes. Per se, yes.
Now, what does both of you, what does Precision Plumbing do? What's Precision Plumbing all about?
We're the largest plumbing company in the Carolinas. We do a lot of commercial work, hospitals, schools, a lot of atrium work, upfits. Me and my son, we're in a section called client services, so we do a lot of the smaller upfits. We do, some
y'all
of the
just
bigger
talking about
jobs.
the open tap place.
Yes.
Y'all did that?
Yes, sir.
So y'all did the open tap beer?
The beer place in Pineville. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, there's a smaller commercial building.
We do a lot of smaller commercial buildings. That's what I'm saying. With client services, we do small entities. Like we've the bigger side, they've got the bed towers, we got Spectrum. Those are the bigger jobs. Those guys stay on the jobs a year plus. We're in and out in 2 or 3 months on jobs and keep going.
Right. Well, Chase, when you started we referred to as a prefab shop.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to save it because I'm up against a break right now.
It's all good.
We're going to take a break, come back and talk to Bruce and Chase Ervin, first, second generation plumbers. Not a bad ride. And we'll talk to Chase about how he likes his job too, because there's a lot of opportunities in the plumbing trades. We'll be back.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Mike Libretto here, owner of Libretto's Pizzeria and Spinello's Pizza. I opened my first pizzeria in New York City in 2004. Not long after that, I took my passion to Charlotte, North Carolina, serving up a taste of New York City with great pizzas and authentic Italian cuisine. Come in, relax, and enjoy Libretto's Pizzeria, located off Johnson Road in the Ballantyne area. Libretto's is also home of the famous Spinello's Pizza, a 10-inch infused frozen pizza, offered in both pepperoni and plain cheese. Visit SpinellosPizza.com for more information, to find a retailer near you, or just to order for pickup at the restaurant. Libretto's Pizzeria is open 7 days a week, a great place to relax, dine in, take out, delivery, or for catering. Visit us online at Libretto'sPizzeria.com. Call us at 704-714-1442 for the best in New York pizza and Italian cuisine. That's Libretto's Pizzeria. Stop in and become part of the family.
Go outside and take a look at your home. Are the gutters doing their job? The number one enemy to your home is water. Most homes are built with small, inadequate gutters and small downspouts. ABS Insulating has a division of the company that does nothing but gutter services. All gutter services: cleaning, maintaining, repair, new downspouts, replacement, and new gutters with many types available. They're a leader when it comes to gutter protection. Call ABS Insulating today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
The professionals at Kilo Exterminating Company have over 70 years of experience in pest control. Throughout the years, they always pride themselves on maintaining the highest standard of quality and customer service, with every technician being state certified. And moisture readings are standard with every inspection. Their top priority is ensuring your home is free from pests such as ants, mosquitoes, termites, and any other pests wreaking havoc on your home. That's Kilo Exterminating at 704-333-9855 or online, kilo.biz. That's 704-333-9855.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you, offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. And S&N Communications is the name of the company. The support reached out and gave a nice sum of money to this week, and I'm so grateful. And what is S&N? The foremost resource in turnkey fiber infrastructure construction, power distribution construction, gas construction, design services, and underground utility locating. The trades. Got it. S&N Communications. Okay, thank you. All right, got Precision Plumbing in the house and talking, well, plumbing. You know, plumbing is something that, you know, is kind of unknown to kids, really. And most of the time they're, you know, shunned away from it by parents, and parents don't even think of it. It's a lesser than occupation. It's in the trades. And the trades has been used for call pile for about 30, 40 years now. And what I mean by that is that if you're not academically oriented or academically focused, you know, then you're less than in school. Would you agree? I mean, isn't that how it looks in school?
Yes, sir. That's the consensus.
Yeah, when it's truly wrong, you know. Because being a plumber, being an electrician, being a carpenter, being a welder, using your hands and your mind is a viable Chase,
Yes. Yes.
You worked at a pizza place.
Yeah.
And then one day your dad says, "Hey, come on, let's go plumbing. Let's go check out what you can do."
Yeah.
And kind of teased you a little bit. Okay, when you started there, were you enamored by that avenue of approach?
Yeah, I definitely was. Yeah, I definitely was. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I wasn't educated on the trades as much then, so it was definitely a new experience.
So what'd you start doing in the prefab shop? Prefab
It-
shops, let me explain to them.
Go for it.
And you can help me, Bruce, a little bit. In commercial construction, let's look at hospitals. All the bathrooms that are in bathrooms, public bathrooms that are in hospitals. All the bathrooms that are in the hospital, they're basically the same. They're just located on different floors.
Correct.
In other words, you can make a plumbing. What would that be called?
Schematics.
And they call it a reel or something too.
A spool.
A spool. Thank you. I knew I've been over there and toured the prefab plant. And what it is they make these, they prefab plumbing, I call them systems that can literally be set in place. They go out on a truck, they unload them, right? And what's neat is they've got what do they call them? The guys that run the computers?
The BIM department.
The BIM department.
BIM department.
BIM department, they go and do plotting. They plot where all the systems go, right? And you guys go out there and make it happen. Pretty much that's what the prefab's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll have the whole building almost, already drawn up on the laptop computer, and they can print out how they'll run the systems. And in the prefab shop, we cut pipe to fit, attach a couple fittings, and so whenever it's out in the field, it's like you said, it's just plug and play. It makes it a lot quicker, a lot more efficient.
Right. Now, when you went to, did you go to their apprenticeship program at all?
Not their in-person apprenticeship.
Well, you
class.
didn't
I do
really
know what
have
you're
to.
talking
You went in the field and did it that way.
Yes, sir.
So you started in the prefab shop. Then what?
Started in a prefab shop a couple months after working in the prefab shop. I started working at the Pineville Bed Tower when that was being built, and that was a job where they used those spools as well. So we'd unload, however many spools they sent out that day. And
spools are components, right? They're big components.
Yes.
That's what y'all call them.
It could be a whole carrier system, like if you have, they call like a gang restroom. You go into the restroom, there's 3 or 4 toilets and stuff. What you guys don't see is what's in the wall. So the whole battery of carriers, might be 6 carriers, and they break them down in 2 each side, and they'll come in, they'll set them down and bolt them next to each other, and you just have a piece of pipe that goes with them. Most of the spools, like what Ray's talking about, is like we're doing underground. If you're doing this fitting here, then have the fitting ready, and this spool will go here. So this pipe is cut a particular length, and everything works out with plotting and stuff like that. So when they come with the prefab, they're putting everything together. They'll send that out in the truck, set it out, and then like I said, the connection, like you said, is pretty much plug and play. 1 or 2 fittings. They send out some extra fittings because sometimes things in the field just aren't the same. So you got to,
really,
yeah, you know that, and you got to make, you got to make call an audible to make it happen. But besides that, it's it gives the guys in the field a faster turn time because the guys are already, it's already pretty much done.
Yeah, it's very little cut and then extra measuring, unless, like you said, something comes up and you got to change it on the fly.
What's amazing in today's world with technology and computers being whether they're just smart devices. When a building is drawn and designed in the computer, everything is done. I talk about this all the time on a plan. If any job in construction, be it a remodeling project, a new house, residential, commercial, whatever, is got to be there needs to be a plan. And with, these big commercial buildings, everything is in that computer, and everything is precision drawn, right? And plotted out. So it's done on paper. And what they do is literally just put it together like a big puzzle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And after it's done, let me ask you this. After a building's done, how long do you think it takes to wrap it up In other words, do all the checks and everything? I've never asked anybody that question.
Just depends on the project. What they have to do, they have a punch list. So either owners or the GCs that come through, and you might have some paint issues, or they didn't want this. So usually, when they close out, usually you would get a TCO, temporary for occupancy, and then we'll usually 2 weeks or so, or just depends. We have a deadline that we have to do. If not, they start charging.
Right.
And then once we turn it over, it just depends on the actual contractor
Right.
what they want. But it's pretty within a 2 weeks turnaround. When we get the last bid, they go through and walk through. Hey, Precision, they send a list out. Okay, Precision needs this, and none. We'll come in and take care of that. Our goal is to have the smallest amount of paperwork, because if you do it right the first time, you don't have a punch list.
That's
You
right.
don't have a punch list. So we pride ourselves in having them under double digits and anything. And most of the stuff is very minute that anybody could have looked at or looked over.
Well, I know before any spool goes out of that prefab shop, it's tested,
Yes, sir.
pressure tested, and totally
Water heaters and everything that come out to the field, they're already tested as the first line, and then we also test it again in the field once we
Right.
put the connections together.
right. So see, that's a whole different concept, a whole different career pathway in plumbing than most people think of when they talk about plumbing. Now, Bruce, where were you born?
Virginia Beach, Virginia.
How long you been in Charlotte?
I moved here in 1996.
How long you been in plumbing?
Since 97.
So you moved to Charlotte
Yep.
in '96, and then started in your plumbing career.
Yes, it wasn't a career; it was just a job. It was a job. To be
Okay.
honest, it didn't change.
No, that's why I'm asking.
It didn't change over until honestly, I became a foreman, which was many years ago. I got to use that left brain. But
Now, did you
besides
go
that-
to work for Precision or another
no,
plumbing
sir. I
company?
started off at Ray Brothers.
Okay, Ray Brothers.
Yes, sir. Off South Boulevard, Ray Brothers.
Another commercial, yep,
Mhm.
right beside Fry
Commercial.
Electric.
Yep, commercial and residential.
Sure.
And I was actually on the residential side. So I actually started off in Ballantyne. There's a place called Troon, and before Ballantyne is what it is today. It was just land and Harris Teeter basically back there, and that was it.
Right. So you grew up in you started in residential.
Yes, sir.
Installation or service? Did you do any service to speak of?
A little bit of both. With Ray Brothers, we did a little bit of everything: rough, slab, trim, service. It just depended on the guy you were working under or what they called us to do. We had a little gambit of everything. So I got a good knowledge base on everything, even on the heavy. They had a heavy commercial side, like the guys that are on the side of the road, the asphalt and stuff like that. The bigger side of commercial construction.
Right. When you were working in residential plumbing, what's the number one service call y'all made? Can you remember back?
Probably clogs. Just
Clogs.
clogs. Yeah, clogs,
Yep.
toilets and sinks and stuff like that.
Clogs.
Something.
Yeah, that's your most common service work or a drain. I was in a house yesterday, and I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to mention any names. I was in a house, well, actually twice this week, and the sink was stopped up, and there was water was half full in the sink, and I said, "Well, Lord of mercy!" Then I tried to pull the stopper out, right? The little lever stopper,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't come out. Well, then the lever stuck through the hole, and you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Stuck through the hole in the stopper. And I said, that's easy to fix. He said, yeah, but I just hadn't had time. I said, time? You can do it in less than 5 minutes. And all you got to do is reach down there and pull that long hair of yours out of there. And I had to do it. I normally have to do it every 6 months. But folks, now here's a little bit of tip. You can fix this stuff yourself, because when you call a plumber, he come out there, and we're going to talk a little bit about, how to check a flapper, right?
Yes.
You know what a flapper valve is, right, Chase?
You're talking about on the tank toilets?
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy to fix, isn't it?
Yeah, not a problem.
Went in old Benjamin Vanhook's office this week. Walked in the bathroom, tub, the commode's just sitting there running. I said, oh my gosh, come on now. Because it takes, how long does it take to fix, Chase?
Not even 2 minutes.
2
You're talking,
minutes.
yeah. If that, you just get that flapper seated back right, and it'll
Take
stop.
one off, put it back in, and it's a wrap.
It'll stop running.
What, 5 minutes maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
And you can take a break and make it 10. But it's so easy to fix. But people think plumbing, I got to call a plumber. No, you don't. You just need to go on YouTube University. And I got to share this story today. I got a story to tell. We talk about doing stuff ourselves, right, around the house, fixing flapper valves, fixing drain, stopped up drains. It's so easy to do. Even your tub drain's easy to fix, isn't it,
Yes, sir.
Bruce?
Yep.
So easy. Well, you can fix it, a tub drain maybe in 30 minutes if it's difficult, right? And that's hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's easy. But now let's go. How do you learn? YouTube University. This week, the gentleman called me and asked me if I would replace 3, and I'll just be naughty here. I don't think we have to push a button. Fart fans. You know what a fart fan is, right? Everybody knows that crude. You want me to say bath vent or just? I can say fart fan. Okay, cool. We got it down.
We know some other terms, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I had to. He asked me if I could replace 3 bath vent fans, and I said sure. He said I already bought them. They're here. They're the Panasonic Whisper Quiet fans. Good fan, and it's got a setting 50, 80, and 110 CFM on it, so it's a variable speed setting. Well, I went out there but I woke up and said, wait a minute. You know what? I need to look at YouTube, a YouTube video on it. Sure enough, how to install a Panasonic Whisper Quiet, my model number. Whip that up, 8-minute video. Showed me he did it. Man, I went out there and knocked them 3 bath vents out in less than 3 hours. Piece of cake. Made a nice paycheck that day, made a customer happy, left. The room was as clean as when I got there, if not a little cleaner. Did my job. But watching a video on YouTube is absolutely powerful. It works. So before you call or think you need to call a plumber, be it a man, woman, old, young, if you understand what you see, pull it up on YouTube and watch a video, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Especially when it comes to simple things like how many times you go out and fix drippy faucets?
Oh, a lot. I still have to do that now. Like we get a water fountain or something we're not familiar with, and we don't know anything. We either call the contractor or the rep. But usually I'm at work at 5, 6 in the morning. They're not open yet because it's always Central or Mountain. So you get on YouTube, like you say, put the model number in. Okay, it explains this is where you cut the water down at it, or it gives you insight. That's pretty much the best tool that you have out there. Is YouTube University.
If you get the model number. The problem with lav faucets is you can't find the number always, or even the manufacturer.
Or shower trim.
Yeah.
Shower trim as well.
Yeah, and sometimes that's your biggest challenge is finding what it is to replace, to fix it.
Just to find the start, because a lot of stuff is older and, you have that part number, but it's no longer made and they have the replacement or something else. And then you got to find the start on it, and then you can go from there. It's really easy.
You remember when the place was over on Wilkerson Boulevard downstairs?
Yeah, with the 2 ladies.
Yeah, right.
And they knew everything. We missed them.
We do miss them, don't
they
we?
knew everything.
There's a landmark in Charlotte that is so missed. Called it Restoration, plumbing something. But anyway, it was in the basement of over there on Wilkerson Boulevard. Man, that place was great because they knew their stuff. Boy, that's gone away. Now we just got YouTube in it, and best of luck to you. Because you could get about anything for anything you needed over there. And
if not, they knew where to get it.
Right. They could order it for you
Yes,
or
sir.
whatever. And it was amazing. But plumbing doesn't have to be so difficult. But I'll know before you fix, I'm babbling here, before you fix a faucet, you need to find out who made that faucet. And there's a challenge. It's sometimes on the aerator. And you tell people aerator, they say, what's that? What's that? And the aerators need to be clean too.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Right. See all that. Now, the aerator, tell them what an aerator is. Chase, you know
that's the little piece that goes right up into your faucet spout that
where the water comes out.
Your sprayer nozzle will come out where it'll be either a soft stream or high pressure stream.
Basically,
and whenever you
it's
see
a filter.
It's just like a filter. If you ever see a drip,
last line of filtration.
Yes.
And when you start seeing water sprout out everywhere and go crazy on you, it's your aerator.
And all that is just taking that out, probably putting a little water down it, cleaning out the little gunk, put it back in, and you're good.
Clean
like
that little gunk.
Little gunk. That's all it is.
I agree with you. Sand, gunk, and just
flux, solder.
Yeah, just whatever it might be. Or just plumb trash in the line.
Yeah.
You know, trash in the line creates a lot of mayhem in plumbing. I got a stop, below the sink, got some trash going in it, and it restricts the hot water flow. It irks me. And I got to cut the water off, take that stop off to fix it.
Flush it.
And flush it out. But that's a pain because you got to cut the water off. Sometimes cutting the water off to buildings can be a nightmare because of...
Not sometimes. All the time. Because you don't know what's down the line, what's really connected to. And then when you have certain toilets with the sensors on them, when you cut those back on, they might keep running. So if we do a building that's 20 floors, we cut all the water off, someone has to go through all 20 floors and check them. If not, you could have a flood or something could also hang up and keep running all night.
I'm glad we talk about this. Cutting the water off to a building is not a simple operation.
No. One of my co-workers, I'm not going to say any names, but watch my eyes. I was out sick one day and he had to cut the water off to a certain part of the building, and he forgot to cut it back on. So the ladies and gentlemen that morning didn't get their coffee, and we got a couple of calls to the office. But, it was an easy mistake, because you're cutting stuff off.
You're only going to do that once, though.
And he only did it once.
That's it.
Yeah, that's how you learn. Yep. And if you leave a job some days and you cut the water heater off because you want to cut the water going into a water heater, if you're going to cut the power off, if it's an electric water heater.
Burn it up.
It'll burn it up. But I left that night, and then I was driving home, and I thought, oh, no. He says, what? I didn't cut the hot water heater water back on. I said, oh, no, nor did I cut the breaker back on, So I had to turn around and go back.
Yeah.
So you forget things like that.
Yeah.
And then lighting the pilot light.
Yes.
See, if you cut the water off sometimes, you need the water, pilot lights go out. And you got to relight them.
Yes.
And not everybody knows how to do that. But that's another practice that we need to learn as homeowners.
Yes.
How to light a pilot light.
Especially dealing with gas.
Yeah, on water heater.
Very, very dangerous.
Can be.
And it's scary when you hear the clicking, it's natural gas.
But they're a lot safer today than ever before.
Yes.
Used to, you had to get a lighter and stick it up under the burner.
A piece of paper and stick it in
and
there.
Still do in the older ones. They're still around.
They're still around.
Yes, sir. Thermocouple. You ever replace one of them?
Yes.
Quite a few.
A few. Couple in our own home, yes.
Now, what's a thermocouple? It's a sensor. It's a thermostatically controlled sensor, right?
Yes.
You ever replaced it?
No, sir.
You never replaced thermocouple?
Did you help me do what that?
That was the one of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that little copper thing, like little bulb that sticks in the flame hits it and lets the sending unit or control unit know there's the flame. But if it goes bad, it'll go out. Keep going out.
Keep going out.
Keep going out.
Safety.
Bad thermocouple. Pretty common. Pretty common.
Very common.
I hadn't done that in quite a few years. Of course, I'm not out there doing that stuff anymore. But say, got no hot water. Well, is it working?
Is it plugged in? Is the gas on? Then we go from there.
Lady called me one time, said, this is most recent water heater story. She called me and says, my hot water doesn't last. And it goes away. I says, okay. So I went over there and checked it. It had just been remodeled. The shower and everything, the plumbing, everything had just been installed like 4 months prior. So I go over there and I check it. The voltage coming in is 120. There's your problem. I said immediately. So I went to the breaker and they had it wired wrong. They had 120 going to it. I turned it to 220. Hot water, no problem. It lasted. They just had it wired wrong. Why don't people pay attention? But they don't. Anyway, Bruce, Chase Ervin, Precision Plumbing in the house. We'll be back, talk more plumbing. You got a question? 704-227-8986. You're listening to About Your House on Fox Sports Charlotte. Next Saturday, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'll let you know soon. We'll be back.
About the show, go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Sam Otero of AteroMedia.com. Someone asked me once what I love the most about my 30-year-long career as a media producer and educator, and I have to say the fact that not only do I get to create for a living every day, but then I get to teach and help others to use the content and gear systems that I've built for them themselves. Do you need professional live event video production or streaming services? You're in great hands with our family business. All 5-star Google reviews. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Steve Helms here with the Al Metal Driving Corporation. The Al Metal Driving Corporation is a full-service driving company. Regardless of the problem, we can handle it. Does your clothes dryer take longer than 45 to 50 minutes to dry a load? If so, you need your dryer vent cleaned or checked. The clothes dryer is the most inefficient appliance in the house and should never take longer than 45 to 50 minutes. Call Al Metal Dryer Vent today at 704-846-8368 or online at almetaldryervent.com. That's 704-846-VENT. Have you cleaned your dryer vent lately?
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595. Or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Carolina Foundation Solutions is a family-owned and operated company and a licensed general contractor in North and South Carolina, providing foundation solutions from the mountains to the sandy shores of the coast. At Carolina Foundation Solutions, our objective is to help educate, offer guidance, and provide assistance. With over 200 years of combined experience, our family of experts are ready to help protect and repair your largest investments. If you have a problem, we have a solution. Call 877-883-4626 or online, carolinafoundationsolutions.com.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to About Your House. Got the Ervin duo in here. Bruce, father, Chase, son, plumbing. Plumbers on the commercial industrial side. But we have a caller. Now, who is it?
Larry B.
Larry Beasley. Good morning, Larry Beasley. How in the world are you, sir?
I couldn't be better. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, that's what we're here for. How could we be of help today, if possible?
I was wondering, and I don't know if this is something I should be doing, but is it okay to put a little Dawn dish detergent in your toilet just to have it in there, just to keep, you think about grease and whatever goes through the system. So is it okay or something I should not be doing? Would that hurt the toilet?
Give me your take on it, Bruce, and then I'm gonna respond. Chase, you got something you can add too?
Are you putting it in the actual tank in the back, or just setting it in the bowl itself?
The bowl itself.
Oh, that's not going to do nothing, because each flush is just going to go down. So something like that, if you put it in the back, you're just going to have sudsy bubbles, and really that's probably more bad than good, because it'll help calcify the ports that are coming out to actually flush your toilet.
Okay.
Because the viscosity of it is a little too thick for it.
Was this your idea of keeping your bowl cleaner?
Yes, sir.
Well, no offense, but it won't work.
Okay.
Because to Bruce's point, every time you flush it, it goes away. I mean, it goes away. And then if it
put like a dab,
well, then you're wasting it.
I am.
It's not doing anything. But I mean, the thought kind of is a good thought, but it ain't. It's not going to work.
They do make those toilet bowl cleaners, don't they? That they just clip onto the lip of the toilet.
Well, they work to some degree.
It was just for
but there's nothing that takes the place of a little bit of elbow grease and cleaning the toilet like once a week.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way to do it. Or they got them little Clorox wandy things. You put a little clip it on the little wand, and you it's a it's called no touch me method. To where you can stick it down there and scrub it out good, and then click the little button on the side of the wand, and it goes in the trash. But go ahead.
No, I was about to say that for my reasons for doing that is like when the toilet's not being in use for a while, a ring will circle around the bowl on the inside, and I'm trying to prevent that from happening.
That's a different question.
Okay.
Now, to your point there, that might work. All right, I'll give you a great example, Larry, to what your point is. I just went to Seattle for 2 weeks, right?
Yes, sir.
When I left, I made sure I flushed the commode, because if you don't, it's horrible when you come back. But anyway, but anyway, so I made sure I just want to throw that out there. But I made sure I flushed the commode. All right, but when I came back, sure enough, I got a moldy little ring around the edge of the water, because the water had just sat still for dormant for 2 weeks. Now, to your point, that might be a good precautionary measure, right?
Okay. And that's the reason why I do that, because I have a bathroom in my basement, and I very seldom use that. So that's my reason for doing what I do.
Well, does that bathroom have a tub or a shower in it?
It has a shower.
Well, do you put water in the trap of the shower or ever go down there and smell kind of sewage smell? Because what happens, glad you brought this up, what happens is the trap water in that shower will evaporate. And the seal from sewer gas is gone away. So you're going to get a sewer smell down there. I've told hundreds of people through the years about this, because they got a bathroom they never use. And even the trap water in your lavatory, your sink will dissipate and go away and allow sewer gas to come into the room. And that's an issue with people. And if you don't use it long enough, the water in the commode will evaporate and go away. And then you're going to have sewer gas coming in. So put some water in your traps, man.
Okay, I'll take your advice on that. And thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, Larry. Thank you for calling. Have a great weekend.
All right, man. Good show. Good show.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah. You ever smelled gas like that? You go into a old
Oh, yeah.
bathroom.
It's
Oh,
the first
yeah.
thing we know, like, to put some water in the trap. I mean, because as a plumber, now that we know what that smell is, I can't go anywhere now, like Target or anywhere. We look, when you're in the trade, you don't see it, but now I look at everything. The flush valve is a little crooked, or we've been out of the country, and like, okay, this is something I'll take pictures and send to him. It's like, man, but it works. We've seen some of the darndest things they would say, but it's, when you're in a trade or profession, you just like when you buy a car, you never see that car on the road until you have that car. Now that's all you see.
Exactly.
So we go places, restaurants, you go to the bathroom. Okay, they could have did this better, or they're missing this, or that's not ADA. Unconsciously, we live and breathe this every day, no matter what. When we go somewhere,
I'm with you, brother. I go in places and notice things all the time, and tell people, and they say, "You notice everything." Well, that's what we do.
that's what we do.
I'm a detailed person, and I can pick up on things that aren't parallel, aren't plumb. You ever sit yourself back sometimes and look at your parallel? So, well, darn, that door ain't jiving. That ain't plumb.
When I come in my crew, I'm like, hey, that's got a little backfall on it. That's not falling. But how did you know? Because I got that eye. I've been doing it.
You've been doing it long enough to where you know.
Yeah, that ain't right. I don't have to throw a level on it. I got a built-in level. I can see it.
I hear you. Chase, what are you doing now for precision?
Right now, the latest job I've been at is in Rock Hill, the Digestive Health, in one of their atrium buildings.
Atrium Health.
Atrium Health building. They're plumbing in. We're plumbing in for it's just some exam room sinks and 2 single restrooms.
Right.
But
kind of an upfit.
It's an upfit, yes, sir. So the building is active with other office and doctor spaces already. So we're just in one corner of the room where they're going to have like a new office.
So you're in the smaller job services.
Yes, sir. We
as alluded to by your father.
Yes, sir. So instead of us starting in the dirt and building the whole building from the ground up, I'm usually I frequent a lot downtown, and the high-rise buildings will go up to whatever floor and plumb out a new office space, the plumbing that they need.
Now, how many men you work with?
I keep a crew of about 3 people.
3
total, including me, so 2 helpers.
2 helpers.
Yes.
You got 2 people that you go out with. So you're foreman now.
Yes, sir.
How long's that been effective?
Second week of October. I've been a foreman since October. I had my truck since then. So,
well, I want you to tell mothers. Speaking of mothers, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. We'll talk to you in a little bit. All of you.
Shout out, Mom.
In a little bit. We're going to talk to moms here in a little bit. It's Mother's Day weekend. But talk to the mothers out there on career pathways about plumbers. Now here's a young man, 20, how old again? 24?
Yes.
You're 24 years old. Now, when you were in high school, I'm just guessing. I might be off base here. And I don't mean to put words in your mouth. But you really didn't think you were going to be a plumber, did you?
No, sir, not at all.
But here you are, you're a young man, 24 years old, starting out, and you're a plumber. And you never thought you'd be there. Now, do you think you're going to be there? Are you there to stay?
Yeah, I think I will be retiring from the plumbing field, whether I'm a inspector, I'm doing something different. But I do enjoy plumbing for sure.
What now? Does it pay good? I mean,
oh yeah, I'm definitely blessed. So especially coming into the company young.
I started at $6.25 an hour, and he's already tripled that from what they came in the door at. So $6.25 an hour in 3 weeks, and we haven't even got our rent yet, and we haven't even eaten. So that's a long time ago. And then with a young family, it's difficult. Now they have our company is very awesome. 2 weeks vacation in the beginning, a base coming in at $18 an hour, base coming in, paid holidays. We get quarterly bonuses.
When you're a rookie and don't know anything. $18 an hour.
Green helper. You don't know the difference between a flathead and a Phillips.
In 90 days, if you work for them and you like it, and if they like you at the end of 90 days, you'll more than likely get a raise. And that raise will put you on, level. Then you'll have an opportunity to get into the apprenticeship program. But I want to say this again. Most kids don't even know what the word apprenticeship means to start with. And you don't have to go and be certified to be a plumber. You don't have to be an apprentice to be a good plumber. So don't think you've got to go into these programs to be a good technician within the trades. Be an electrician, be it a plumber, be it an HVAC tech, be it a welder, be it a brick mason. It doesn't matter. I don't want to mislead you in the fact that you think you have to have certifications to be. Will it help you in your career pathway? Absolutely. Put more dollars in your pocket. But it's not absolutely critical or necessary that you follow that pathway. Am I right or wrong, gentlemen?
Right. Absolutely.
But see, there's a lot of words out there about apprenticeships. Yes, they're good. They're wonderful opportunities, but they're not absolutely necessary for you to get into the trades.
No, not to get in, but to further yourself. You're learning more. You got on the job training. You can't, like what I do. I move around a lot. So if you're working under me, we get a lot of experience. But some guys the bigger jobs are just stuck with
Sure.
one thing, so they don't know the avenues of what else could, what your rough side or your trim
Right.
side, plumbing terminology. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
We'll talk more about it. Career pathways, opportunity for youth. Have you called a plumber lately? Have you paid them? Hi, we'll talk about it. Come back. More about your house coming your way.
Hour number 3, Bruce and Chase Ervin of Precision Plumbing continue the discussion with Ray about plumbing, the trades, and what you need to know. About Your House is brought to you in part by Queen City Home Store, formerly known as Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances. Same great store, different name. Queen City Home Store is a family-owned store serving the Carolinas for over 70 years. They're the largest independent appliance retailer in the Carolinas, constantly growing and taking pride in the experience they offer customers with a knowledgeable sales staff, product selection, and lowest price guarantee. About Your House is also brought to you in part by PutToolsInSchools.org, connecting students to tools of the trades and raising awareness of the many career pathways. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some time with us. And now, here's your host, Ray Terry.
All right, welcome back. Hour number 3 coming your way right here on Fox Sports Charlotte. Download the free app, Fox Sports Charlotte. Yep, stream us live. On YouTube Live, Facebook Live, on your browser, foxsportsradiocharlotte.com. Every Saturday morning, 8 to 11. Next Saturday, we're going to talk pressure washing. For many years, Tom Skinner, call him the grime fighter, came on the show about, I don't know, once or twice a year, at least once a year, and talked about pressure washing. Everybody thinks they're a pressure washer. go buy a pressure washer and crank that sucker up and go crazy. Yeah, you go crazy. You'll do more damage in a quick minute, let me tell you. Y'all laughing. Y'all been there, hadn't you? Y'all done screwed up with a pressure washer before, I can tell. Chase is looking awfully guilty.
I done take the paint off a couple people's cars before.
That's why
he had this.
That's why it's in the garage now.
He had this guilty look all over him as I talked about screw ups with pressure washers. And he got this guilty grin all over his face.
YouTube would have saved me right then.
He wasn't enrolled in YouTube University then.
I'm gonna tell you what, that's amazing. But seriously, if you don't know what you're doing with a pressure washer, you have no business operating one.
That's a fact.
You can screw up, but you can blow siding off a house in a quick minute, blow a panel out of a garage door in a quick minute. And before you even know what you're doing, it's done. You know what I'm talking about, don't
Yes,
you?
sir. Yes, sir.
Uncle Red's on the phone. Did you tell him I didn't want to talk to him? No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Oh, Lord. All right, let me talk to Uncle Red. Good morning, big guy. How you doing?
I'm just as happy as if I had good sense, Ray.
There you go. What's up?
No, I'm
big fella?
enjoying listening to your people talk. I just had a couple comments about what they were talking about, and you don't even know this, but when I started, well, you know that I started with Grinnell and did sprinkler work.
Right.
I found out right quick the sprinklers were like doing a puzzle, and that's back when you didn't put Victolic couplings on it and clamp it together. You threaded the pipe and you screwed it together, and that makes you, when you're doing really big pipe and screwing it together, you learn how to measure everything correctly, because it takes so long to cut a thread, and you have to do it again. What's that old thing? Measure twice and cut once.
Thanks.
Well, when you're running 4-inch and 6-inch pipe and threading it, you learn to get it right. But anyway, I actually worked and did a lot of commercial plumbing. Was one of the best plumbers I ever worked with in my life. But when I worked for industrial maintenance, we had a plumbing division, and we did a lot of commercial plumbing. I mean, we did some monster stuff, and I mean that's back when and the father, I think, I don't know how old he is, but this is back when we were running lead and oakum joints and stuff. You had to learn how to do all of it.
I came after
And
that.
I mean, cast iron and packing them and joint runners and all that.
Bruce didn't come up with lead and oakum.
Yeah, I'm 51,
Okay.
but that was a little bit before my time.
Yeah, well, we were phasing it out towards the end of what I did, but I had a chance to do all that.
I learned
But
to
getting
do.
back
I
to-
learned to do that watching it. I said, I got to learn to do that. I just like watching it. You ever done a lead and oakum joint?
I've only
Chase?
done 4 lead and oakum joints total.
I got you.
All for just mop sinks.
Well, we used to do a lot of lead and oakum in commercial jobs. You know what I mean?
Right,
We made
yeah.
terrific risers and stuff because it stays right where you put it. But
Sure.
anyway, we're not going to beat that horse to death because everybody figured a little bit better way to do it and not, get away from the lead and the lead pot and all that stuff, the dangers of doing all of it.
Sure.
But back to what you were alluding to, and he was talking about it a little bit, and his son was talking about it a little bit. The reason that, and most of my history, but the reason we got along so good was the guy that I worked for, my mentor, for a good portion of the time. He pushed me to get a city card to do boiler and chiller work in Charlotte, which you could not be on somebody on every job, every commercial job had to have a city card to work in Charlotte. Didn't have you had to have a city card. A man on the job had to have a city card. So in the steam fitters part of it, it was a 7-hour test. I mean, I studied a book 2 inches thick for a long time, and I'd been doing it a while, but I've been watching some of the best people in the world. If you pay attention and you're watching people and they're doing it right, you always watch the people that are doing it right. And that's a hard thing to do, because if the man that teaches you wrong, that holds true through every discipline, unfortunately.
Sure does.
I mean, you work 10 years for a guy and he does it one way and gets away with it and never gets called on it, then you learn the wrong way. And it's almost harder to break yourself from learning the wrong way. It's really hard. But anyway, if you get a city card to do steam fitting, you're worth a whole lot more money. Then I found out if I'm going to fit pipe, if I'm going to do all this pipe and do all this pipe fitting, and we did a lot of big stuff, high-rise buildings, 1,000,000 square foot mall, all that crazy stuff. It doesn't make any difference. It's all pipe. Something's going through all of it. It's round. It all fits about the same. And you learn a lot of math along the way, too. You don't even know you're learning the math. You just learn.
It's just part of it. That's another thing I tell kids, when it comes to math. You see math and you, like Chase, you learn a lot more about math when you got into plumbing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Just by virtue of going to work every day, you're going to learn about math.
Yeah, well, you learn all the angles. You learn what the angles are.
Yep.
I mean, you look down and see what you need, and you walk over and get the right fittings because you already know what you got to have.
Right.
But then I decided if I'm going to do this and I'm going to weld, because I was welding and tacking pipe and stuff. I mean, I was doing this back when I welded stuff that wasn't critical, but had to be welded. They'd say, stay at the shop, weld all you want to in the evenings, burn all the gas you want to, use all the welding rods, just keep teaching yourself. I went and got certified. I mean, I got X-ray certified, and I wasn't about 20 years old. And now I'm a fitter. I've got a city card, and I'm a certified welder. Now,
well, ain't you special?
You're going to the same place.
No, but you are special. You're a dying breed, just like me. We're going away.
But now you're worth a lot more money to whomever you choose to work for. You're worth a lot more money.
Yep.
You can't do all three at the same time. The trick is you get more money.
Right.
And then what happens? You get more money, and then all of a sudden you get a truck to drive. You know what I mean? Now you're burning somebody else's gas and driving.
Chase has got a truck now, don't you, Chase?
Yes, sir.
See, Chase here's got a truck. He's already moved up.
Yeah. There's so many perks to it, but it's hard for somebody that doesn't understand how it works to get involved. I mean, it's like makes you want to just scream. But because if you really get into it and you watch the good people and you work for somebody that does really good quality work, you can learn everything you need, and then you can move on up. And and you can't find anybody. There's nobody that wants to. That's the unfortunate thing. And I'm not saying everyone. It's just hard to find really good help that'll come to work every day and work. And just like the gentleman said, if you'll come to work and show up and give us 90 days and show that you're interested, we'll pay you more money. We'll give you more money because now all of a sudden you're handing me what I need before I ask you for it because you already understand what I'm doing.
Exactly.
That's time. Time is money.
Yep.
Quality keeps you from backing up. And you know my rule. I had a rule with everybody when I was a project manager later. If you even think something on that drawing's not right, do not put it together. You call me. I don't care if it's Sunday morning and they're out of town. You tell me because we are not backing up and taking stuff out. Because when you start backing up and taking it out, I don't care if the Lord himself did the drawing. If it's a screw up, we're not putting it in and taking it back out because everybody loses on that deal. The schedule loses and the quality of the work loses and you lose money. And that was just my rule. And everybody knew how to get a hold of me. And everybody said, why do you take those calls? Why do you take those calls? Because they're asking a legitimate question. They're doing what I told them,
Got it.
Anyway, you can make a lot of money. I don't care if it's electrical. I don't care if it's plumbing. I don't care if controls. My God, the control stuff is a whole separate entity now. We had a controls division. I understand the controls, but I didn't pursue it. You got duct work. My God, if you can do duct work, it's one of the most complicated things in the world. If it's real duct work, to do it right. If you get fascinated with it and you're good at it, you can make a living the rest of your life doing it.
Never run out of work.
a man from Grinnell, 2 or 3 of them in my neighborhood, when they approached me about going to work for Grinnell, they said, if you learn how to do pipe work, you will never be out of work, because I don't care how much they prefab, I don't care how much they try to make different connectors, which they did in the sprinkler business. You know, they went from threads to Victolic. We rolled Victolic. We cut Victolic. We rolled tubing. They went to lighter weight pipe and everything. Somebody's got to put it together. You can't make it jump from where they make it into the ceiling of a building graded right. Somebody has to do it correctly. And I mean, you can make a fortune. And I don't know how you drive that through young people's heads. I grew up in a house where everybody worked. I mean, everybody worked.
We got to raise the awareness. Kids don't know they exist. And we're going to talk more about that when you quit talking.
But when you're around, you're around a big construction job, you get to see all the disciplines. So find something that you're interested in.
There you go.
If you get really good at it, you're worth more money. And the more you get good at it, the better you get at it, the more you're going to make.
And I don't care if it's automotive. I don't care if it's electrical, welding, plumbing, concrete work, whatever it is. The sky's the limit if you like it, right?
You mentioned automotive. And I won't go into names or anything. If you become a master tech for Ford, and this was 20 years ago, you take their program and you're working for a dealer as a mechanic. You might be just doing oil changes and stuff. If you get the dealer to sponsor you and you become a Ford master tech, everybody in that shop's not a master tech, but if you're a master tech, you're making almost $100,000 a year.
Yep.
I mean, on the low end.
Right.
So it's just find something you want to do. It's not all filthy and dirty. It's a whole lot safer than it used to be, because you operate different. You wear gloves. OSHA's, took a lot of the safety stuff and tweaked it up. But for God's sake, you can make a fortune. Why in the world do you want to damn try to figure out a way to make a living when there's a million good places to work? It's like this plumbing guy. I could come down, if I was younger, I could come down, drop right in line with him. We could roll. I mean, I did it.
There you
I
go.
ran the back. I learned how to run the backhoe. I learned how to dig on grade. I knew how to do all of it, and we did it.
Well, right now,
do it right.
We got to wrap it up.
Go for it. Tell everybody I'm enjoying the stuff. Okay.
Thank you. You just did. I appreciate it.
And happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yes,
Take care
sir.
of yourself, buddy.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. He's out. Yeah. Yeah, well, there's an example of a 78-year-old gentleman that's worked in the trades his whole life, right out of Garinger High School, and started early. And like myself, I started right out of Garinger High School in construction. And what I've learned in the course of my career has been just absolutely phenomenal. And those opportunities still exist today, still great opportunities. And that's the reason and purpose behind what I'm doing around Put Tools in Schools, is raising the awareness to all the possibilities and the career pathways around working with your hands, your mind, and your imagination, critical thinking, which doesn't exist in academia. Sorry, it just doesn't happen. And we're going to talk to Bruce and Chase here about their involvement with Put Tools in Schools and what their feelings around what they've accomplished and what they see with these kids. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back on the other side of the break with more plumbing stuff.
Find out more about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
John DeLand here for Crowntown Cannabis. We at Crowntown Cannabis care about you and your health. All of our products, from edibles to topical creams, are all third-party tested for purity and quality. 4 locations, open 7 days a week to help you with any concerns you may have. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can call us at 704-412-7121 or online at crowntowncannabis.com.
There's big news in the Carolinas. Queen City Audio, Video, and Appliances is now Queen City Home Store. For over 70 years, we've been your trusted retailer for appliances, electronics, and more. Now, we're taking it to the next level with a new name, a fresh look, and more ways to serve you, offering the same outstanding service you've always counted on, while bringing you everything you need for your home. Queen City Home Store. Same great service, more possibilities. Visit us at queencityonline.com.
Hi, I'm Sam Otero of AteroMedia.com, and I love empowering my clients and partners to make the most out of today's latest digital media tools. We specialize in building production systems and podcast studios for small to mid-sized churches and local businesses here in Charlotte. Do you need new media production gear? Do you need help learning how to use it? You're in great hands with our family business, Atero Media of Charlotte. That's ETTARO Media.com.
The professionals at Kilo Exterminating Company have over 70 years of experience in pest control. Throughout the years, they always pride themselves on maintaining the highest standard of quality and customer service, with every technician being state certified. And moisture readings are standard with every inspection. Their top priority is ensuring your home is free from pests such as ants, mosquitoes, termites, and any other pests wreaking havoc on your home. That's Kilo Exterminating at 704-333-9855 or online, kilo.biz. That's 704-333-9855.
Libretto's Pizzeria was established in 2004 in New York City. It's located in Charlotte on John J. Delaney Drive in the Ballantyne area, serving up authentic New York pizzas and a full Italian menu. Come in casual, hang out, and relax. We offer dine-in, takeout. You can order delivery. We could also cater your special event. Libretto's has got you covered. I am Mike Libretto. We are also the home of Spinello's famous infused take and bake pizzas. Visit us online at librettospizzeria.com and spinellospizza.com or call us at 704-714-1442.
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Talking to Bruce and Chase Ervin. Chase is a young plumber, 24-year-old plumber with Precision Plumbing. Worked his way up, got a job relatively soon after high school. He was 20 and started plumbing, And they've been a part of Precision Plumbing has supported Put Tools in Schools right out of the gate with financial support, and just showed up at these events, what we call trade career days, or any career day for that matter that we're invited to, and normal career days where they got corporate America and universities and higher learning education institutions, you might say, show up and fill a gym up with tables. Well, we fill a gym up with tools and engagement. The whole concept behind Put Tools in Schools is to engage the kids with some activities around that particular trade. And Chase, we right out of the gate, we wondered what could we do around plumbing, and somebody thought of, why don't we sweat some copper joints? Copper.
Yeah, they the students definitely enjoy hearing that flame start up. It gets them over there. That's that first little, hey, what are they doing over there? They'll start asking some questions. They see all the tools that we use, and we tell them
Get hands-on.
It's all hands-on. It's
a lot of these kids have never touched a torch. When I go, I set up. Now we have as time goes on, we're perfecting it. I set up 2 what I call solder stations with pipe vices. I've got 2 other young men that help out, engage more with the kids because they're closer to their age and they look like them, so it's a little more appeasing. We put them with glasses, of course. The first thing is PPE. Got to be safe, no matter
what. What does PPE stand for? Anybody know what that acronym stands for?
I think it's personal protective equipment.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I couldn't put my head around it. Yeah. Personal protective equipment, PPE.
Gloves,
okay.
Glasses, fire extinguisher.
I see it everywhere I go. PPE. We need better PPE. Like women, we need better PPE because they don't make women's apparel for the trades. There's your new problem. It's a new problem.
I didn't think about that.
They said, especially welders who have welding, gloves and stuff where they're too big. Well, it's not safe. Women's hands are smaller, like that little bitty gal over at Queen's Grants the other day that's going into welding.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't no bigger than a minute. Mackenzie's her name. Man, she's a little bitty thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be a welder.
That's what she wanted.
Yep. But anyway, keep talking about your engagement, But
so we have a station set up, and we have bead tanks and we clean the fittings. We show them either to clean the fittings. We explain to them what the flux is, and we let them light the torch up, and they get to solder their own fitting. And then at the end, we let them cut it with a porter band, which most kids have never touched. I didn't touch one until I was in my 20s. They get the whole.
They didn't even exist till you were in your 20s.
It didn't exist, yeah, exactly. And then they cut it, and we clean it up for them, and they get to keep it. So it's just not hands-on. They take a little token or trinket that they can show, and we kind of make it a competition. You got 2 friends come up, hey, get on this, get on that. So it's the internal thing. So it's for me, it's very fulfilling just to see the interest. We didn't have that when I was coming through. We didn't have stuff like that. So to be the awareness of, and we make good money. I do show them my paycheck stub every now and then. It's like, wow, it takes a while to get there, but it's very valuable.
The whole secret to anything is being good at it. I mean, it's that simple. And how can you be good at something if you don't like it? If you chase money, you'll never have money. If you chase opportunity and you chase purpose and happy, do you feel purpose in your job, Chase?
Yes, I definitely enjoy plumbing to the point, I can see the fruits of my labor. Yeah, it does get covered up, behind the walls. We'll set our fixtures. They'll never see the pipe above the ceiling grid or the pipe in the ground. But, the trades that I'm working with next to us, the inspectors, our media team will come out there and take pictures of our work. And, after we do set that last toilet, last laugh, we turn that water on, no leaks, that's when that good feeling of all right, we finished one, we knocked another one out, on to the next. And, I'll tell the kids, it's not that it's not hard, but you just got to try it. You just got to try it out. If you like it, you take it all the way. Just
And
do
what I
your
like
best
what
at
he
everything.
just said, the fruits of his labor. So when he was a child, I've been here doing this since before he was born. We ride places. I did that. You see that pipe coming through that? I did that. Or that building, we worked in that building. Now he rides with his mom or his friends or his little brother, whatever. I did this building with little sister. I did this building over here. I worked here. We worked here. We did that from the Ruth Chris, with one of the first jobs he started with me at the Ruth Chris in South Park, to the atrium, to blood banks, to the hospitals, just anything downtown. The BOA, Wells Fargo. This building, when it was before it changed over, just different things. He can ride and say, I did that. You can see the fruits of his labor. Even though you can't physically, see it, but he knows we've been in that building. We know we did that, because I've changed half of these buildings downtown 2 or 3 times already in my 20-some year plumbing tenure.
It's job security. I say that if you're going to be a plumber. And, as far as the trades career days and how effective, and I bring this up because one of the biggest problems we're having is getting industry to step up and be a part of this initiative. Now, one of the companies I could always count on to show up is Precision Plumbing. They always show up. And I'm grateful for the leaders and all the management behind Precision to allow their employees to show up at these events. But other companies show up and say, what do we do? Well, I just told you what Precision does. They engage the kids. The whole idea is to raise awareness, engage the kids as you do every time. And once they're engaged, now, how effective is these career days? How effective as an employer are the trade career days? Well, Mary Ann Knopp-Nicky, who heads up what's her title now? Something acquisition. Talent acquisition. She's workforce development, same thing. You call it what you want. She's gotten over 500 applications. 500 applications with all the initiatives they've attended. And y'all have done much, much more than but chosen schools.
Yes.
Y'all gone into other schools, other classrooms.
Classroom settings.
And that's what it's all about. It's not just the career days. It's getting into schools, making kids aware of the opportunities that are out there that they don't know about. Well, I had Lilix, I think they're a rep for American Standard. They did a presentation with Beatty's Ford over, Francis Bradley Middle School around plumbing. And the kids didn't even want to touch the brand new toilet in the box. They didn't want to touch. I said, it's brand new. I just took it out of the box.
Just for the fact of the
Just
stigma.
for the fact that, and another thing about plumbing, most people think that water in the tank is dirty. The water in the tank behind the commode is clean water. That's potable drinking water. The same water that comes out of your tap is the water that's in that tank. Then you raise the lid and say, but it's dirty. No, it's got all the water that you running through your plumbing. It isn't so clean. It isn't as clean as you think it is.
That's a fact.
And therefore, should you be drinking it? I don't know. You're going to have to ask yourself that if you hadn't had it tested. And one more thing I'm going to just throw in here, one of the little facts that I throw out. A lot of people getting water filtration systems, water whole house filtration systems. And you do it not knowing. In other words, you didn't have your water tested from an independent source before you had your water filtration system put in. How do you know you need it? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, you got a salesman come to your door and put the fear of God in you that your water's funky and dirty and contaminated and you need a filtration system. And then he's the one that checked your water. You want to think about that a minute? This is going on all the time. All the time. And I bring this up because of water filtering is a big business. And it should be, because there's some funky water out there that needs filtering. Well water, for example, rural water sources should be checked, especially if you're going to put a filtration system on your house. So just think about that a little bit, okay? Now, so Chase, I don't see you anymore out at these career days.
I've been to
and that's cool. You got a promotion. You're foreman. You got to go play boss man.
Yes, sir.
Ain't it great?
Yeah. Well, I definitely try to make it when I can, but I definitely will be at the job.
Now, I
if
asked you
can
this
make it.
before, but I'm going to ask you again.
Yeah.
Mothers, we love you all. You're so sweet. But college isn't for everybody. College isn't for all kids. There's some kids that don't want to go to college. Why? Because we don't like school. We don't like sitting down and sitting still. Like I tried to do a commercial, write a spot with Crown Town Cannabis this week. And the guy walked in the room and he was going to be one of the voices. I told him straight up, I said, don't you sit in that chair and wiggle. Because if you wiggle, I can hear it. He couldn't stay still. He could not stay still. I said, you can't sit still, can you? He said, it's hard. I said, no kidding. He couldn't. Well, ADHD kids, they don't have a disorder. Once again, it's a gift. It's a gift, God-given gift, because it's energy. You just need to convert that energy into productivity, into purpose, into servitude. And then you got something. Instead of giving an appeal and saying, sit down and behave yourself. Little boys weren't meant to sit down and behave themselves. Never were, never have been, never will be. Our system sucks. There you go. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree, Chase?
What was the next question?
I said, what would you agree to what I just said or disagree about little boys?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely
You what? You don't agree? You got to move. My point is,
yeah, you got like you said, little boys they want to move for sure.
that's what God made us for, moving. Stimulate stimulate their brain, get them moving. I mean, you watch a little 3-year-old young boy. For a little girl, same thing actually. But you look at a small child, they're gonna be moving, aren't they? They can't walk. They got to run. Got to run everywhere. Put them beside a swimming pool. They can't walk. They got to run. I mean, really, right or wrong, they're going to move all the time. They moving machines, energy. We need to convert that energy as young students into productivity and purpose and teach them that. But we don't, do we? Sit down and behave. Take this test. Do good. And if you don't do good, well, what's wrong with you? Something wrong with you? Why? Because I can't pass the test? Right? Then they make a call pile called the trades. If you can't do that, well, maybe you can work with your hands. Maybe. No, you should have reversed them. You should have let them work with their hands first. Right? And then give them books. Then they'll figure out what's in the books and how it applies to life. Make sense? I think it does. Makes perfect sense. Got it backwards. That's what being educated does for you. There is a website called goflexi.com for you students out there or parents looking for summer work for your kids to get wet their feet, get out there, be it a McDonald's, be it a Burger King, be it a fish fry place. I don't care where it's at. There's job opportunities on goflexi.com. That's GoFlexi, FLEXIE.com. Had a meeting with the people with GoFlexi last Monday and about the opportunities on that website. So if you're looking for a summer job, go use the website and see what kind of opportunities are there. And we hopefully can or will team up with GoFlexi with Put Tools in Schools to find trade companies, electrical, plumbing, heating and air, automotive, welding, all of the trades, masonry, to post, to create a list of job opportunities in the trades listed on a website and on puttoolsinschools.org. That list is in the resource tab. So hopefully we'll team up with GoFlexi and create a broader list of opportunities for kids like our buddy Silas, what was his name? Morgan? The guy that wants to build stuff. He met him at Northwest School of the Arts. Kid came up to me and says, I said, what do you want to do when you get out of school? He said, I want to build stuff. He said, I love building stuff. I said, where'd you build stuff? He said, over in the tech class. And this kid is great. Yes, Silas Morgan, 17-year-old. There's a lot of kids like that. Like Mary Ann said, y'all address many kids that want to work in plumbing now.
Yes, we've definitely had kids, we ask them to solder and we don't have to tell them anything and they'll weld up a, damn near perfect joint.
I would let them solder for my crew right off the
Just
gate,
because,
whatever.
they might have
the best
somebody
one,
already
the one we
showing
had, I
them.
think he was a ninth grader. So he only had to be 14, but at 14 he already had the skills and possessed that. It looked really clean. I like
His craft.
It could have passed for one of my
perfected
joints
for
so
sure already.
That's a compliment.
Now that's awesome. And see the tools. I like when kids see tools, they light up to a degree, don't they?
Yes, sir.
It's amazing.
I still light up when I see my new tools and I'm at the Home Depot looking for new stuff to add to my toolbox.
Yeah, Bruce said you said something about his tools. He got more tools and
Yeah, I knew when he first started walking it wasn't gonna be. This was something that he wanted because I'm dad, but I didn't have to push him. And he came in one day, he's working on me with my truck and crew, and he has tools that I haven't seen before or used. So I knew his interest, and now half our garage is Milwaukee everything, weed eaters and trimmers and different stuff
whether
like
it's
that.
for plumbing, car detailing tools, or something for
well, I
lawn
have
care.
to do a plug here because put tools in schools, and I hope it gets back to the powers that be here. There's two major brands, well, actually two to three major brands of plumbing tools or tools,
yes,
battery tools of the trade. There's two or three major brands, just like there are big box stores, right? You got colors, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
You got red, you got yellow, and you got a little bit orange and black called Rigid. Rigid.
Yeah.
Well, Rigid's not a big player, but they're a major player in the fact of what they do sell.
Yes.
Like pipe threading equipment.
Very
and,
case specific, but yes.
Yes, but Rigid is a big name in the plumbing industry, no question. Or pipe fitters.
Pipe fitters, yes.
Pipe fitting, because they're the threading people. Am I right on that?
Yes,
Threading
sir.
machine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And they also make some big, heavy-duty augers for drain cleaning, Rigid, because I've used them. Better know what you're doing about that. But anyway, then you got Milwaukee, the red company. And then you got the yellow company called DeWalt. Now, I'm in a dilemma here, because they will support nonprofits in training in the trades, right? They do. They do a great job. Both companies
Okay.
will give and support you. But who do I go after? Well, the most trade-specific tool on the market today is red. Am I right or wrong?
Definitely right.
I mean, they've got more trade-specific tools and good tools.
Very good.
They cost a chunk, but they're absolutely phenomenal company in manufacturing tools, trade-specific tools. What blew me away is the new electrical tools they've got. They've got wire nut tighteners, wire strippers.
I've seen those.
They're all battery, man. Blew me away. Well, even plumbing, the crimping tools they got now. You don't have to solder much anymore.
The Pro Press. Is that what you're referring to? The Pro Press tool?
Yeah, Pro Press.
Very, very convenient. Very convenient.
Awesome. The tools are incredible. Matter of fact, if you're going to get into the plumbing, there was the old school way of doing things, like lead and oakum. That's real old. That's probably one of the originals, lead and oakum. And then it stepped up to no hub bands. Now today it's still no hub bands, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I seen at Ferguson or one of the supply houses, they'll have bands where you tighten down and it has like a marker on the band to let you know it's torqued to spec too. So instead of torquing down every band,
Less guesswork. It's more conducive for the installer. More checks and balances. Like, hey, you missed this one, but now you can physically see. Okay, this has
it'll have
proper torque on it.
It'll let you know without having to bust out your torque wrench for every band as well.
Right,
just making it
used
easier.
They had those little torque wrenches.
Yeah, we still use those.
Still
today,
use those
for sure.
See, I've did a little plumbing in my life. Actually, I've done a lot of plumbing in my life.
The guys use those. They're not confident in their work.
No.
Shots fired.
No.
All right, we got to take a break here. We come back, we'll pay homage, if that's a good word, to all the mothers. We love you all. Mother's Day's tomorrow. If it's not on your list, make it on your list. We love you all. We'll be back. More about your house.
More about the show? Go to our Facebook page, About Your House Radio. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Owens Chimney Systems is known for all professional chimney services since 1989, including chimney cleaning, recommended annually, chimney evaluations and inspections, any and all chimney repairs and restorations, gas fireplace and gas fire log service, furnace cleaning, cleaning out one of the most overlooked appliances in the home. Get it done right the first time. That's Owens Chimney Systems at 704-554-9595, or you can visit us online at owenschimneysystems.com.
Whether you're building new or remodeling old, let ABS Insulating make it comfortable. ABS Insulating knows the business of comfort. Using the latest products and technology, ABS offers an array of solutions. Using fiberglass and spray foam, and all installed by certified technicians. ABS Insulating has been saving energy dollars with great customer service for over 30 years. They're a leader in the industry. Call them today, 704-821-4343 or absinsulating.com.
Hi, I'm Sam Otero of AteroMedia.com. Someone asked me once what I love the most about my 30-year-long career as a media producer and educator, and I have to say the fact that not only do I get to create for a living every day, but then I get to teach and help others to use the content and gear systems that I've built for them themselves. Do you need professional live event video production or streaming services? You're in great hands with our family business. All 5-star Google reviews. That's ETTARO Media.com.
Steve Helms here with the Al Metal Driving Corporation. The Al Metal Driving Corporation is a full-service driving company. Regardless of the problem, we can handle it. Does your clothes dryer take longer than 45 to 50 minutes to dry a load? If so, you need your dryer vent cleaned or checked. The clothes dryer is the most inefficient appliance in the house and should never take longer than 45 to 50 minutes. Call Al Metal Dryer Vent today at 704-846-8368 or online at almetaldryervent.com. That's 704-846-VENT. Have you cleaned your dryer vent lately?
Have a comment or question for the show? Call us 704-227-8986. That's 704-227-8986. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. We've had Bruce and Chase Ervin here representing Precision Plumbing. And we didn't talk a lot about plumbing issues, but we talked about a lot of career pathways and opportunities in the plumbing trade. But right now, I want to focus on mothers a little bit because it is your day tomorrow, Mother's Day. But I do want to say this. I love each and every mother out there, but think of your children as to be happy instead of educated. And the word successful is thrown around a lot these days. Success. What constitutes or what validates success in life? I think now, Bruce, here's your son. What'd you want for Chase as a father? I mean, growing up. I mean,
to be better than me. To be better than me on all forms, facts, and functions, and then him to a career, something that he loves to do. Because I'm 51 and I didn't find out to the latter part of life. For him to grow with a company with 401k and stuff like that, not bounce around. We've got a good home here at Precision, and I know he does, and he's going to go well. But him to be happy and not have as many of the life stressors that we have.
Key word: make him happy.
Yes,
happy. You know, I've talked to a lot of students, and I think we all agree that we want our kids happy. You know, and you talk to them, and you find out we're not programming our kids to be happy. We're programming them to be educated predominantly. And I know this because they'll tell you that, last Wednesday at an event, I asked the kids, how many have heard of the word trades? No hands. You saw it. You were out there. Not one hand to the ninth graders. How many of you know what the construction trades are? Not one hand went up. How many of you know what the word apprenticeship means? Not one hand went up. We're talking 80 to 100 students. How many of you are going to college? 95% of the hands went up. You get the picture? We got a lot of work to do. And the kids aren't happy, but they sure know that they're going to college. Don't know what they're going to do, but they know they're going to college. Isn't that what we see?
Yep.
Time and time again. Now, is college a bad thing? No, it's not.
And even when they're in college, the third and fourth year, they still don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
And we're already 4 years in more degrees and more certifications and making more money.
So all I bring it up around mothers is the 80 to 90% of all education decisions in the household are made by the mother. So the mothers, you great influence on your children, which God help, man, I'm so grateful for that. And the bottom line is we love all you mothers. My mother was the lifeblood of the family. And she was everything. And most of you mothers are. And I commend all you single moms raising the kids without the fathers. If there's anything we can do here around put tools in schools, that's part of the mission because that's missing. Men are missing in lives of kids. Fathers are missing. Another problem. So you mothers, you've taken up the slack. I commend you. I love you. I think you're absolutely incredible creatures. You can't do it all. And I know you need some help. And that's another thing that we all need to rise to. And you boys should become men. That's the goal. So what are we going to do about it? You're on your way, Chase. Good job, boy.
Thank you.
And I said, boy, I hope that doesn't offend you.
I'll be all right.
Yeah, you're going to be all right. But see, anybody less than 45 years old to me is a boy nowadays with my age. And unfortunately, the truth is they're as captive as the students in high school because they hadn't been around the tools.
May I ask your age, Ray? 106, 105?
No, 73.
Oh, right.
He rounded down a good bit.
73. But anyway, all the mothers out there, once again, I love you. Chase, you got anything you want to say to your mom?
Yeah, I just want to shout out my mom, shout out my cousin Mariah and my cousin Laishanette, and any other friends that shout out Miss Amanda and just any other friends who are mothers now. and any other family grandmothers. I love all y'all. And anybody who's been like a mother to me as well. Godmothers, aunts, all of them, grandmothers and everything.
And a lot of you school teachers out there have become mothers to a lot of students.
Very much so.
And for that, I'm totally grateful because a lot of the kids need it. They don't have it at home. So we got I'm so grateful for you.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to all. Now, Bruce, what do you do with Precision?
I'm a foreman. I do new construction, client services. I do a little service work and a little bit of everything. Any tasks that they call, I take care of.
Do you have anybody under you?
You have 2 helpers.
You got 2 helpers?
Yes, sir.
So a crew at Precision is predominantly 3 people.
No, more than 2. Just depends on the workload.
Yeah, on the client services side, it's a low about 3.
2 or 3, yeah.
2 or 3. But on the new construction, you definitely have a large team on that
we
project.
move around. I keep 1 big job and 4 to 6 smaller jobs.
I got you. So you're moving around a lot.
Yes, sir.
Now, you may not know the answer to this. How many employees Precision got?
Over 200, including
I think it's over 300
Over
now.
300
ain't it?
now.
Over 300?
Yeah, we're the largest plumbing company in the Carolinas.
Wow. I know you've been around. Thank God for Charlie Brown.
Yes,
God
sir.
rest
Thank you
his
very
soul.
much.
Charlie Brown started Precision Plumbing with Mr. Jeff Knight. You know Jeff Knight?
Yes.
Do you know Jeff?
I did, yes.
Yeah, Jeff was a listener of this show for many years, and then he became a personal friend. I ate many meal with Jeff and his wife, Kelly. Good people. He retired. He called it quits. And you got a few more years to go, don't you?
Is it God willing? Yeah.
Yep. Well, you got to take care of yourself, you know. You hurt your back, this week? How'd you do that?
Actually, just turning over in the bed. Literally turning over in the bed.
I hear you. You got your chiropractor?
No. Just went to the doctor yesterday.
Yeah. Well, the doctor and he prescribed something, didn't he?
Got a shot in the buttocks.
Yeah, prescription. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's the way to cure everything, either with a shot or a pill. Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, is there anything any advice you got going out of here, Chase, for young people? You're young. Tell them.
I'd say
what it take.
I'd say just summer's coming up. Find a trade that you could get in, or just something that you can make a career out of, and give it a shot over the summer. It's not like you have to try something and stick with it for the rest of your life.
College is not for everyone. And that's it. That's my take on that. It's not. And I actually went to a little bit of college, but I didn't. This hands-on stuff, like the gentleman said, we can't be replaced. AI, you can't replace us.
You cannot replace, even with robotics coming on strong. And I watched a room being finished by drywall by a robot last night. Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't AI. It was robotics. And that robot was taping and finishing drywall. So I don't know how far it's going to go, but I know that you can't.
Blow the robots up. Blow them all up.
Blow the robot. Yeah. Richton says, blow the robots up. Just blow them up. Just blow them up.
I've
like old George Strait song, just give it away. Yeah, we don't want them. No, but you can't replace human element. You just can't. And especially when plumbing. Now, Precision Plumbing's used as much technology as I think there is today.
Yes, cutting edge.
Y'all cutting edge on technology application in plumbing.
Yes.
And therefore, there's a lot of opportunity in the digital world around plumbing as well.
Yes.
So bear that in mind. Man, this whole new technology thing has come on strong, where kids that want to be programmers and really involved with technology, the opportunities are there. No doubt about it. But you got to go out there and make it happen. You really do. Application. So we're done. Thank you both. Thank you both for all you've done
Ray.
for Around Put Tools in Schools. And thank you for coming in and talking about plumbing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And now go make it a great week. Next week, we're going to talk to Michael Kelly. Michael Kelly is the new grime fighter. He says grime fighter too. I'm going to call him the grime fighter. He has graduated to Tom Skinner's position, owner of the company. Pressure washing. If you need to know and want to know about pressure washing in its finest, next Saturday, we'll be here. Every Saturday, go find you a mentor. Go find you a child to mentor. Find the elderly around you. Give them some help. Spread some love. Make it a great week. We'll be back here. And to all you mothers, we love you. Go have a great Mother's Day. And let's all hug and gather around Mom tomorrow and make it a great day. We love you all. Have a great week. We'll see you back here next week.